Tonight, you don't need to focus. You don't need to imagine anything clearly. You don't need to remember every word. Just let the sound of my voice stay with you as the day slowly fades away. If this helps you relax, you can gently like this video or subscribe so you can always find your way back here. There will be no sudden sounds, no interruptions, just a calm story and the quiet rhythm of the night. Now, take a slow breath in and let it go. The story begins. The morning air was cool and fresh, filled with the scent of earth and rain. Otto stood at the window of the lighthouse, watching droplets trickle down the glass pane. He had taken up the solitary post on the coast, a humble dwelling raised against the backdrop of the endless sea. The land around the lighthouse sprawled wide, damp and glistening from last night's downpour, as though the earth itself was still exhaling droplets of water. Otto adjusted the kerosene lamp on the table, its warmth just enough to chase away the remnants of night. He inhaled deeply, anchoring himself in the moment. The steady rhythm of his breath matched the gentle lapping of waves against the rocks below. A light wind stirred, rustling the remaining leaves of sodden grass just outside. He turned, reaching for a well-worn coat on the hook by the door, slipping it on before stepping out into the world. The path leading away from the lighthouse was still slick, the grass glistening underfoot. Each step felt deliberate as he walked, slow and mindful, listening to the soft squelch of his boots pressing through the mud. He made his way down toward the stretch of coastline that lay just beyond the grassy knoll. The ocean sparkled in the early light, blue and inviting but filled with a cool bite of salty air. Otto's routine brought a feeling of peace. The lighthouse had become a beacon of solitude for him, his gentle fortress against the clamor of the outside world. With each morning, he would check the lantern, ensuring it was properly tended and ready for the night. He glanced up at its towering form, proud and steadfast against the elements. High above, the great glass lens caught what sunlight had pierced the clouds, casting splinters of light across the wet grass. As he continued his walk towards the water, Otto noticed a small trail of footprints, barely visible in the damp earth. They were not his own, nor were they from the layers of seabirds that often roamed the shore. The prints were smaller, lighter, leading toward the curve of the shoreline, disappearing into the distance. A slight frown furrowed his brow as he pondered who might have walked this path after the rain last night. Otto shrugged off the curiosity, deciding not to let it distract him from his work. He slowed his pace, now closer to the water. The surf rolled rhythmically, each wave a gentle reminder of nature's steady pulse. Otto knelt by the tide line, running his fingers through the wet sand, feeling its coolness. Small shells and bits of sea glass sparkled like stars against the brown backdrop. He picked a few up, slipping them into his pocket for later, each piece a small treasure from the day's findings. After taking a moment to appreciate the tranquility of this coastal morning, Otto stood and turned back toward the lighthouse, ready to tend to the lantern. The path felt different now as he retraced his steps, alive with the glistening freshness of the world after rain. He focused on the sound of his boots combining with the gentle calls of seabirds overhead, a soothing melody that played over the morning breeze. Back inside, Otto set about his routine with a practiced ease. He filled the lamp with oil, the rich scent of kerosene mixing with the salty air that drifted through the open window. He polished the glass, ensuring it would shine brightly against the night sky. As he worked, he glanced outside, letting his mind wander for just a moment, curious about the footprints. Perhaps a local child had come to explore, but the coastline was often too rugged for such an adventure. For now, though, the lighthouse was his truest calling, a steady anchor in his otherwise quiet life. The inner mechanisms of the lantern clicked gently as he turned the wick, adjusting it with a careful hand. In the distance, the sea roared with vigor, a reminder of powerful forces always in motion. Time slipped by unhurriedly, and as noon approached, he prepared for lunch. A simple meal awaited him: bread, cheese, and a hunk of fruit. He set the table with a feeling of gratitude for the small comforts of his secluded life. After eating, Otto settled near the window with a book, its pages frayed from years of reading. The words flowed like the waves, allowing his thoughts to drift as the afternoon light painted the room in soft hues. Outside, the sky shifted, clouds gathering in patches, hinting at more rain. The air felt heavier, laden with impending droplets. Otto placed the book down and stepped outside once more, allowing himself a moment to breathe in the shifting atmosphere. The landscape danced with movement, as though the world held its breath in anticipation of the coming rain. He wandered along the edge of the water again, feeling the fine mist settling on his skin. The footprints were still there, leading to the rocky outcrop where foam kissed the stones. Otto felt a whisper of curiosity return, a gentle pull to discover who might have left this trace behind. But he let it go, realizing it was perhaps just a fleeting mystery, perhaps nothing at all, easily lost to the tides. As the afternoon continued, Otto noted the darker clouds rolling in, casting shadows across the land. He decided to head back toward the lighthouse, knowing the responsibilities of the evening would soon claim his time. He returned to the lighthouse, where he would light the lantern in preparation for the nightfall. By the time dusk settled over the coast, the rain began to fall, a soft rhythm against the roof of the lighthouse. Otto stood on the steps, watching as the droplets danced in the fading light. The world around him deepened into hues of gray and blue, the contrast of the sea and sky blending seamlessly. Inside, the warm glow of the lantern filled the room, as Otto wrapped himself in a wool blanket, drawing it tight against the chill. The sound of rain tapping against glass was soothing, a gentle reminder of the world beyond. He poured himself a cup of tea, the steam rising like a soft breath into the cool air. It was a quiet moment, one he cherished deeply. After finishing his tea, Otto turned to the window, gazing out at the path leading to the shore. He thought again of the small footprints, curious where they might lead. But the mystery felt distant and inconsequential compared to the comfort of his lighthouse. The waves rolled in, a calming presence, reminding him that some mysteries were simply pieces of the world existing alongside him. As night enveloped the coast, Otto lit the lantern, brightening the darkness that surrounded him. The beams stretched forth, illuminating the path for any wayward travelers who might find themselves drawn toward the lighthouse. He stood for a moment, watching the light flicker, a small guardian against the night. With the lantern fully lit, Otto settled down with another book, allowing the words to wash over him in the quiet solitude of his home. The rain continued, creating a soft percussion that harmonized with the rhythm of his reading. Hours slipped away, lost in the flow of the story and the gentle sounds from outside. After midnight, the rain had eased to a light patter, casting the world in silence and calm. Otto closed his book, the page marked for tomorrow. He made his way to the window once more, peering out into the stillness of the night. The lantern's glow danced over the wet grass, and he allowed himself a moment to ponder the footprints again, wondering if the mystery would ever be unraveled. Time felt like a gentle river, flowing steadily as he turned away from the window. Otto settled into bed, the blanket tucking around him like a gentle embrace. The soft sound of rain and distant waves lulled him, painting a tranquil picture in his mind, one that would carry him into the deep embrace of sleep. In that calm, Otto found a quiet contentment, surrounded by the mysteries of the sea and sky, held safely within the walls of his lighthouse. The sound of rain softly pattering against the glass continued through the night, a comforting background that held Otto in its embrace. The warm light of the lantern flickered gently, casting soft shadows against the walls of the room, each flicker a subtle reminder of his solitude and safety. Outside, the world lay shrouded in darkness, the coast a quiet stretch where the land met the sea, all wrapped in a delicate shroud of mist. Otto sank deeper into the warmth of his blanket, the familiar textures of his well-worn bed providing a feeling of belonging. Sleep wrapped around him like the fog that rolled in from the ocean, cradling him as he surrendered to rest. Dreams wove themselves around memories of the day, carrying with them the echoes of the rain, the smell of the earth dampened by the storm, and the soft whisper of the waves. The hours of the night slipped away as Otto drifted between dreams and the waking world. But as the clock in the lighthouse tower chimed gently, its sound mingling with the distant crash of waves, he stirred awake. The lantern's light still held vigil, casting a warm glow across the room, welcoming him back to consciousness. He pushed the blanket aside and swung his legs over the edge of the bed, feeling the cool air brush against his skin. He rose slowly, rubbing sleep from his eyes, and made his way to the window once more. The night still draped itself over the coast, but the rain had lessened further, giving way to a light drizzle that sparkled in the lantern's glow. Otto's eyes settled on the path leading to the shore, the wet grass glistening like a field of stars turned downwards. He thought of the footprints again, wondering about the person who had traversed this path while he was tucked away in the warmth of his lighthouse. With an inquisitive heart, he opened the door, the cool air rushing to greet him. The scent of the sea mingled with that of the wet earth, filling his lungs with the fresh breath of the night. The lantern light spilled outward, illuminating the path before him as he stepped out onto the porch. He took a moment to admire the way nature seemed to breathe in this quiet hour, the soft rustle of leaves whispering secrets, the gentle lap of waves against the shore providing a rhythmic backdrop. Taking a deep breath, Otto stepped off the porch, feeling the cool, damp grass beneath his feet. Each footfall felt deliberate as he made his way down the well-trodden path toward the beach. The sky was a deep blue-black, punctuated by the silvery glow of stars peeking through thin clouds. He paused, letting the sounds of the world envelop him, serenading him in a sweet lull of night. As he approached the beach, the outline of the waves flickered, drawing near and retreating with a soft caress. He could see where the sand met the water, the ebb and flow creating a quiet rhythm that echoed the pulse of his heart. The footprints, small and curious, called to him from the damp sand, their edges softened by the gentle rain. Otto knelt down to examine them closely, tracing the outline with his fingers. Each impression held secrets of its own, stories of a moment shared with the wilderness. He straightened, gazing toward the horizon where the sea melded with the night sky. The vastness of it all felt both expansive and intimate, as though he were standing at the edge of the world, a solitary figure embraced by the elements. The mystery of the footprints lingered in his mind like the faint call of a distant seabird, pushing him to ponder if the night had held more than he initially thought. Otto listened carefully, catching the low sound of a wave crashing against the rocks nearby, a gentle reminder that life was ever present, even in the stillness of the night. He took a step back, allowing himself to feel the cool breeze brush against his cheeks like a tender touch. Then, as though summoned by the night itself, he turned back toward the lighthouse, the warmth of home waiting for him just a short walk away. Retracing his steps, he found comfort in the familiar surroundings of the lighthouse. The door creaked open gently, and he felt the warmth of the lantern fill the air around him as he stepped inside. The world outside faded away, the soft whispers of the sea and the rain becoming a distant melody. He closed the door quietly, sealing off the night, and settled back into the sanctuary of his lighthouse. Otto poured himself another cup of tea, the kettle singing softly over the small flame as he allowed the comforting scent to envelop him. He returned to his reading nook, the book still waiting patiently on the table, its pages ready to unfurl new tales. As he settled into his chair, he glanced out the window once again, the path leading to the shore still visible in the lantern's glow. Night deepened around him, each passing moment stretching into a serene stillness. Otto took a sip of his tea, feeling the warmth spread through him, and turned his gaze to the book. Words flowed easily, the story wrapping around him like the blanket he had draped over his shoulders. Each line, every sentence, gleamed with an intimacy that spoke to him, a reflection of his thoughts and quiet musings. As he read, time slipped away like the waves gently coursing onto the shore. The outside world faded, and he became lost in the narratives that danced across the pages. The rain outside became a comforting soundtrack, a reminder of the world he had temporarily left behind. He turned each page with care, the soft crackle of paper echoing in the stillness, each word pulling him deeper into the heart of the story. Hours dripped by it as he lost himself in the tales of distant lands and far-off adventures, his imagination carrying him to places that felt both foreign and familiar. The night grew older, and soon the last vestiges of the day dissolved into the depth of darkness. Otto felt a swell of contentment settle within him, the lighthouse and the world outside blending into a harmonious symphony of peace. As the pages turned, he glanced outside once more, allowing himself a moment to marvel at the lantern's unwavering glow against the vastness of the night. The footprints, the stories, the mysteries of the coastline all entwined within him like the threads of his own life, each one a part of the fabric of existence. In that moment, he understood that while the world might hold mysteries, there was comfort in the known, in the simple act of being present in this place. Otto lingered over the final paragraphs of the book, letting the words wash over him like the gentle surf caressing the beach. The characters became friends, their journeys etched in his mind. He closed the book softly, placing it on the table beside him, the weight of the day settling comfortably within him. He took a final sip of tea, the warmth lingering in his hands as he placed the cup down. The lantern flickered gently beside him, its light casting dancing shadows across the room. Otto allowed himself to relax fully in the chair, feeling the gentle pull of sleep creeping in again. There was no urgency in the world outside, only the quiet murmur of the sea and the whisper of the wind through the grass. In this space, he found peace, feeling secure in the knowledge that tomorrow would come, bringing with it the light of a new day. Settling deeper into his chair, eyes fluttering against the encroaching darkness, he surrendered once more to sleep. The night enveloped him gently, a blanket of stars overhead and the protector of the lighthouse standing vigil, keeping watch over the mysteries of the coast and all who traversed its shores. Otto drifted into the embrace of slumber, the rhythm of the sea drawing him deeper, carrying him through the folds of the night, into dreams woven with the whispers of the waves and the trails of thought left behind by the footprints on the wet grass filling the silence of the room. Time slipped by unnoticed, the gentle rhythm of raindrops against the window weaving a soft melody that wrapped around him like a familiar blanket. Otto's mind drifted between the words of the book and the quiet world outside, each sip of tea warming not just his hands but his spirit. Each turn of a page offered a gentle escape into a realm of adventure, yet he held tight to the comfort of the life he knew, nestled within the lighthouse's protective embrace. As the lantern's light swayed slightly with the movement of the wind, it cast flickering shadows across the floor, resembling dancers taking turns in a slow waltz. Otto set the book down, the tale suspended momentarily, and let his gaze wander to the glass pane fogged by the night's moisture. Outside, the landscape merged with the dark, only the outline of the coastline visible, a faint promise of dawn orphaned in the distance. After a time, he found himself rising again. The need to see the world outside felt pressing, as though the rain had invited him back to the wet grass and sandy shore. Quietly, he slipped on a light coat, its fabric slightly damp from the lingering moisture in the air, and stepped back outside. The coolness of the night lingered lightly on his skin, invigorating him as he took a deep breath, filled with the scent of wet earth mixed with salt from the sea. The path felt familiar underfoot, each step releasing the fragrance of damp grass. Otto walked slowly, savoring the quietude, the world around him alive with the whisper of the wind and the soft song of the waves. With each step toward the shore, he felt a newfound sense of curiosity. The footprints he had traced earlier beckoned his imagination once more. Who had wandered here before him? What thoughts had lingered in their mind as they walked? Had they experienced the same peace he found in these moments of solitude? As he reached the sandy stretch of beach, the night wrapped around him like a soft shroud. The moon, hidden behind clouds, cast only a hint of light, yet the wet sand sparkled faintly, revealing remnants of the incoming tide. Otto knelt, running his fingers through the cool sand, feeling the grain slip through his fingers, an echo of time slipping away. It was then he noticed something in the distance a flicker along the water's edge, perhaps the glen of a wayward lantern or something more mysterious. Curiosity piqued, Otto made his way toward the light, each step purposeful yet unhurried. The sound of the sea grew louder, and he welcomed the surge of waves crashing gently against the shore. There was a rhythm to it, a kind of heartbeat that matched his own. As he drew closer, the flickering light revealed itself, a lantern tucked against a rock, its glow brighter than he had anticipated, illuminating the nearby formation of stones. Otto paused before it, captivated by the way it danced in the breeze. The lantern, a simple glass fixture with a flickering candle, suggested that someone had been here recently. He looked around, but the beach remained deserted, the remnants of the rain-soaked night keeping all but the most curious at bay. The warmth and light of the lantern felt welcoming, beckoning him closer. Crouching beside it, he marveled at the delicate dance of the flame. As the wind played with the light, his thoughts drifted to the stories of explorers who had navigated through darkness, guided by similar beacons. Was this small light a signal, a remnant of someone's journey, or merely forgotten? The connection between the light and the footprints he had discovered earlier sparked a feeling of adventure within him. Otto glanced toward the horizon, pondering the countless stories the coastline held, and the countless footsteps that had walked its shores before his own. Rising, he decided to follow the water's edge, letting the soft waves lick at his feet, the coolness refreshing against the warmth of his skin. The world felt both vast and intimate, the sound of the ocean a constant companion as he meandered along the sandy stretch. The footprints he had seen earlier lingered in his mind, and as he walked, he imagined the figures who might have stood where he was now, peering into the vastness of the sea. The tide pushed gently against his ankles, each wave a soft touch, and he turned his gaze away from the horizon to the land behind him. The lighthouse stood tall, its beam cutting through the night, a guardian of the coast. Otto felt a connection to the place, deep-rooted yet ever-changing, as he traced the intricate patterns left by the tide on the sand. It was in this quiet exploration that he found a piece of himself and echo of the curiosity that defined his being. The night air filled with the scent of kelp and seawater, and for a moment he closed his eyes, allowing the sounds of the world to envelop him, the gentle crash of waves, the soft rustle of leaves, the distant call of a seabird somewhere lost to the night. Suddenly, a slight rustle behind him caught his attention. He turned slowly, eyes scanning the rocks just beyond the water's edge. For a moment, he felt a flicker of apprehension mingle with excitement. He stepped forward cautiously, heart racing slightly, prepared to encounter whatever the night might reveal. There, nestled among the stones, he saw a dark shape. As he got closer, he recognized it as a small leather satchel, the dampness of the night melding beautifully with its weathered exterior. Otto knelt down beside it, curiosity overcoming caution. Listening intently, he found only the sound of the waves, a calm reassurance that no danger lurked nearby. He reached out, fingers brushing against the satchel's surface, and took a deep breath. The weight of it felt oddly significant, a fragment of someone else's journey, and he considered its journey to this very place. Carefully, he unfastened the clasp, his heart pounding in tune with the world around him. Inside, he found a collection of items, a folded piece of parchment, a small compass, and a thin, leather-bound journal. Otto's fingers hesitated over the journal, heart quickening at the prospect of uncovering stories hidden within. What thoughts had flowed from the pen that had touched this very parchment? He opened it gently, the pages still crisp and clean despite the dampness of the night. The ink, however, remained dark and vivid, words swirling within offering glimpses into another life. Flashes of names, places, dreams were captured there, each entry a testament to a journey taken long before he stumbled upon it. Otto settled back on his heels, the satchel resting beside him, the lantern illuminating the words that had been preserved in time. The first page spoke of longing for adventure, of seeking solace along the coastline, the very shoreline where he now sat, under the watch of the lighthouse that had kept him company through countless nights. The following entries unfolded tales of travels and encounters, of storms weathered and friendships forged, painting a picture of a life filled with both challenges and joy. He could almost hear the voice of the writer echoing through the night as he read. As he continued to read, a gentle breeze rolled over the beach, stirring the air and shifting the pages slightly. Otto felt an overwhelming calm wash over him, the words connecting him to something larger, a lineage of seekers who shared a love for the coastline. They were travelers and dreamers, each with footprints that mirrored his own. Hours melted away as the night wore on, and the rain continued its gentle patter, now a distant undertone to the quiet presence of the sea. The stars, hidden behind the clouds, remained watchful, guardians of the secrets held within the satchel and on the shores. Gradually, Otto became aware of time slipping past once more. The lantern's glow softened, and a feeling of stillness enveloped him, magnifying the significance of the moment. With a gentle sigh, he recognized the comfort that washed over him, rooted in the shared stories that bind humanity together. He carefully closed the journal, feeling a feeling of reverence for the tale he had just glimpsed. Rising slowly, he took the satchel in hand, feeling the weight of history resting with him. As he turned to make his way back to the lighthouse, he paused and glanced back toward the water, feeling the salt air brush against his cheek. The sea sparkled faintly, the waves continuing their age-old dance. Otto walked slowly, savoring this newfound connection to the night, to the myriad of lives that had passed this way before him. He felt enriched by the stories shared in the footprints left behind, realizing that each encounter, each moment spent in this quiet sanctuary, contributed to his own journey. The lantern's glow welcomed him back as he approached the door of the lighthouse, and he stepped inside, the warmth enveloping him like an old friend. Otto placed the satchel gently on the table next to his chair, the journal resting inside, waiting to share his tales at dawn's first light. He returned to his reading nook, sinking into the familiar chair, the soft fabric molding comfortably around him. Outside, the rain began to taper off, leaving only a faint drizzle, while the sound of the sea remained a soothing companion. Otto sipped the last of his tea, feeling the warmth settle within him as he reflected on the night on the satchel, the lantern, the footprints left behind by others. Each element entwined in a gentle mystery that formed a part of his own existence. As he closed his eyes, resting in the lush embrace of his surroundings, he took a deep breath and let go of the day's weight. The sound of the waves sang softly in the background, a lullaby for the weary, guiding him once more toward the comforting arms of sleep. As the night deepened around him, Otto surrendered to the soothing embrace of dreams, cradled in the stories of the past, the flicker of the lantern, and the infinite mysteries of the coastline stretching ahead, weaving tales held within the quiet embrace of the coast. The cool water laps at his ankles, sending shivers up his spine yet igniting a spark of energy within him. Otto takes a moment to breathe in the salty air, letting it fill his lungs. He looks down, watching the foam swirl around his feet before pulling back, tracing the shoreline in elusive patterns. He feels like a child again, marveling at the natural wonders that surround him. With each wave that breaks, a gentle pulse seems to echo through the ground he stands upon. Moving along the shore, he allows the rhythmic sound of the sea to drown out the remnants of the day. The lantern's glow, though left behind, feels like a warm ember in his heart, guiding him as he walks beneath a sky filled with shifting clouds. They seem to hang low, pregnant with secrets, and he wonders about the stories trapped in their folds. The coastline stretches before him, winding like a dreamscape, where time feels both still and infinite. He gazes ahead into the shadows, the darkened cliffs rising majestically against the night sky, their presence both intimidating and inviting. Otto knows he doesn't need to rush. There is no destination to reach, no hurry to meet. Each step he takes adds to the fabric of his own story, woven intricately with the past lives that touch the shore. As he walks, he becomes aware of the small things, the smooth pebbles that slip against one another underfoot, the gentle call of a gull perched upon a wooden post, the scent of brine lingering in the air. Each element tells a story, and he feels a kinship with the world that surrounds him. The drizzle has shifted to an occasional sprinkle, barely visible, but it clings to his skin like a refreshing reminder of the rain earlier in the evening. After some time, Otto spots a rocky outcropping that juts out into the sea, a place he often overlooked during his daytime strolls. Drawn by a thread of curiosity, he makes his way towards it, navigating the scattered stones and slick patches of wet grass. The moon, though mostly hidden behind clouds, offers a hint of light that dances across the water's surface, creating shimmering patterns that beckon him closer. Reaching the base of the outcropping, he pauses, glancing up at the rocks. They seem to hold a kind of wisdom, their time-worn faces etched with the stories of countless tides. A sense of reverence washes over him, aware that he stands before something greater than himself. The layers of sediment and sea-worn stone tell a history perhaps as complex as any he has ever read. With quiet determination, he finds a small path that winds upward, and he begins to climb. Each careful step leads him higher, the thrill of the ascent filling him with anticipation. The rocks are cool to the touch, and their rugged texture grounds him in the moment. Above, the cloud shifts slightly, revealing a sliver of moonlight that glows against the cliffs, illuminating his path. Otto reaches a ledge where he can sit and take in the landscape. He settles onto a flat rock, the cool surface a welcome contrast to the warmth radiating from within him. Below, the waves crash against the rocks with a persistent rhythm, and he feels a pulse that resonates with his own heartbeat. The sound is deep and powerful, a reminder of nature's unfaltering strength. With the moonlight spilling gently across the sea, he pulls the journal from the satchel resting at his side. The soft leather feels familiar against his fingers as he opens it once more. He flips through the pages, skimming the scrawled handwriting that tells tales of distant lands, cherished moments, and heartfelt musings. Each line feels alive, drawing him deeper into a connection with the unknown author and the life they led. He pauses on a page marked with a small, delicate drawing of the very coastline he sits upon. The artist captured the cliffs, the waves, and the horizon with a few simple strokes. A curious smile breaks across Otto's face. It's as though the artist understood the beauty of this place, as though they had shared the same wonder he now feels. He imagines the hands that drew it, the heart that poured itself onto the page. In that moment, a shared bond connects them across time, as though they are two travelers crossing paths beneath the same starlit sky. Otto leans back against the cool stone, allowing his thoughts to wander. The stories of the journal intertwine with the memories of his own life, the joys and the solitude he has come to accept. Each narrative adds another layer to his understanding of himself and the world around him. He feels wrapped in the warmth of kindness, a reminder that in the vastness of time, we are never truly alone. The wind picks up a bit, rustling the grass below, and with it comes a fresh breath of air scented by salt and earth. Otto closes his eyes, letting the sounds of the night envelop him, waves crashing, the distant call of a night bird, the soft rustle of grass mingling with the sultkiss breeze. In this tranquil state, he allows himself to drift, thoughts flowing like the tide, without any rush or need for resolution. When he opens his eyes again, the moon has risen higher, casting a silvery glow over the water. It feels like an invitation to linger just a little longer. Otto leans forward, resting his hands on his knees, and gazes out over the expanse of ocean before him. The water shimmers, a canvas of light and shadow, and it stirs within him a profound sense of belonging. In the stillness, he whispers softly to the waves, as though speaking to the very essence of the sea. What secrets do you hold? The question lingers in the air, a reminder of the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface. Slowly, the tide begins to recede, pulling back and leaving behind small treasures of broken shell, smooth stones, and pieces of driftwood polished by the endless dance with the waves. They glimmer in the moonlight like forgotten wishes. Otto feels an urge to gather a few, to carry them back as tokens of this moment. As he picks up the shell, he holds it up to the light, marveling at its delicate patterns and the stories it might tell if only it could speak. Time slips forward, the air grows cooler, and Otto knows he must return to the lighthouse. He offers a parting glance at the sea, a quiet promise to return. Carefully, he makes his way back down the rocks, retracing his steps along the shoreline. The satchel feels heavier now, filled not only with reminders of the past, but also with newfound inspiration that fuels his spirit. As he reaches the edge of the beach, where the wet grass greets the darker soil, he glances back at the water one last time. The waves continue their rhythmic embrace of the shore, a soothing melody that will linger within him. Otto turns toward the lighthouse, the familiar silhouette standing strong against the night. Upon entering, a feeling of comfort fills the small space. The lantern casts a warm light that dances on the walls, the flickering flame anchoring him in the sanctuary. He sets the shell and stones on the table beside the satchel, next to the journal already waiting in the gentle light. They seem to pulse with stories yet to be told. With a contented sigh, Otto moves to the window, peering out into the night once more. The clouds have shifted, allowing a glimpse of stars' tiny pinpricks of light against the canvas of the sky. Each one feels like a heartbeat, anchoring him to the universe. He reflects on the beauty of the night and the interconnectedness of all things, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the moment he has just experienced. The gentle rhythm of the sea continues outside, a reminder that life goes on, even in the quiet hours of the night. Otto returns to his reading nook, settling into the familiar chair, lifting the journal once more to open it to a new page. He takes a moment to contemplate what he might write, words that echo his journey, his connection to the sea, and the adventures that await him. With pen in hand, he begins to write, allowing the ink to flow freely across the page. Each word is a brushstroke on his own canvas, capturing the essence of the night, the beauty of the coastline, and the weight of stories carried within and around him. As he writes, the soft sound of the rain returns, a gentle patter against the glass, creating a soothing backdrop. The warmth of the lantern hugs him close, and he feels at peace with the world. Hours slip by as he pours his heart into the pages, recounting everything: the mystery of the footprints, the allure of the satchel, the gentle drift of the ocean waves. Otto loses himself in the task, the rhythm of words grounding him in the present while allowing his imagination to soar into the past. Eventually, his eyes grow heavy, and he sets the pen down for the night, satisfied with the tales he has intertwined with his own. The lantern's light continues to flicker, a steady companion in the quiet darkness. As he leans back in the chair, he allows the weight of the day to ease from his shoulders. The rain has stopped completely, yet the sound of the waves persists, a lingering lullaby that draws him toward sleep. With one final glance at the journal, he feels a promise lingering in the air of adventures to come, of the stories still waiting to be uncovered. Slowly, Otto allows his eyes to close, the warmth of the lighthouse filling him with comfort. The night deepens around him, cradled by the sound of the sea and the promise of new stories waiting just beyond the horizon. Each breath he takes softens him further into the chair, until the gentle tide of sleep sweeps him away into a peaceful, restorative slumber and told stories hidden beneath the surface of the world around him. The moon hangs high, a silver coin casting a serene glow upon the water. Otto steps forward, his bare feet sinking into the cool, wet sand. Each wave laps against his ankles, gentle and persistent, washing away any traces of the day's toil. With every retreating swell, he feels the draw of the ocean, like a silent voice calling to him. He begins to walk, following the gentle curve of the coastline, his eyes scanning the horizon where the dark sea meets the sky. As he strolls along the beach, the rhythmic dance of the waves becomes a steady heartbeat, grounding him in the moment. The water shimmers under the moonlight, reflecting fragments of scattered stars, and a breeze carries with it a hint of salt and something sweet, perhaps the richness of seaweed or the promise of distant lands. He closes his eyes for a moment, inhaling deeply, letting the air fill his lungs as though it brings with it stories from afar, tales of sailors and adventures long lost to time. He continues walking, the soft crunch of sand beneath his feet and the occasional squawk of a distant seabird breaking the stillness. Each step along the shore feels like a step back through time, connecting him with the past lives that linger in the air. The footprints he had seen earlier resurface in his mind, perhaps belonging to a traveler or fisherman who walked the same path years ago, leaving nothing but a memory in the sand. As he wanders, the shoreline becomes a canvas for Otto's thoughts. He considers the satchel and its mysterious owner, the secrets it contained, the dreams woven into its fabric. The stories written in the journal envelop him, and he chuckles softly, imagining the author seated somewhere, perhaps under a different sky, with the same longing for exploration. He wishes he could learn more about the person who poured their heart into those pages, the adventures they sought and the places they yearned to see. The clouds begin to dissipate, allowing the moon to bathe the entire stretch of beach in a silvery light. Otto pauses, looking back toward the lighthouse, its beams slicing through the darkness, a reassuring presence amidst the waves. He feels a pull in two directions, the call of the ocean's vastness and the warmth of the lighthouse's glow. He stands still, letting the sea breeze tousle his hair, and in that moment, he feels an unexpected thrill for continuing his exploration. Deciding to walk a little further, Otto follows the contours of the dunes, the land rising slightly from the beach. He can feel the coolness seeping through his clothes, but it invigorates him, sharpening his senses. The ocean's whispers grow softer as he moves inland, the air shifting, now carrying the scent of damp earth and crushed grass mixed with the sea's tang. Suddenly, Otto's eyes catch a glimmer just off the path. Curiosity piqued, he approaches the source of the light, discovering a small tide pool, remnants of the ocean captured in a sandy cradle. Tiny silverfish dart back and forth within the stillness, glints of light reflecting in a playful dance. Otto crouches down, marveling at how life persists even in such a small, secluded space, just like his own dreams held safe, waiting to be unlocked. He reaches a hand into the cool water, feeling the pulse of life as he watches the fish swirl around his fingertips. The simplicity of the moment anchors him, reminding Otto how small wonders can hold great significance. As he looks deeper into the pool, he begins to trace the outlines of the rocks that frame it, ancient and steadfast, much like the stories resting in the satchel. Perhaps they, too, have been witnesses to the journeys of those who wandered before him, holding memories beneath their rough surfaces. After a while, Otto rises, deciding to continue his journey. He leaves the fading light of the tide pool behind, the world around him calling with a melody of rustling leaves and the gentle lapping of waves. As he walks, he notices the stars beginning to reappear, puncturing the dark canvas overhead, tiny lanterns shimmering against the vastness of the universe. With each step, he allows the peaceful energy of the night to fill him, filling the spaces within that felt isolated during the day. Further along the shore, he discovers a rocky outcrop, smoothed by time and water. Otto approaches, careful not to stumble over the uneven terrain. Grimy patches of soft moss cling to the stones, while barnacles cling tightly, evidence of the ocean's grip on the land. He settles upon a flat rock, letting the cool stone support him as he gazes out at the endless water. The moon's reflection dances, and the sky seems to wrap him in a blanket of stillness. In that moment, he thinks of the tales he had read earlier. The themes of longing, adventure, and belonging feel like threads weaving through his own life, binding him to the community of wonders before him. Alone but not lonely, he allows himself to wonder about their journeys, where they had started, what they had discovered, and how the paths they walked intertwine with his own. A sense of kinship envelops him, like the gentle rhythm of the waves mirroring the beat of his heart. As the hour wears on, the weight of the night settles comfortably on his shoulders. A few lingering droplets from the earlier rain still fall quietly, creating tiny splashes against the ground. The calm air seems to embrace him softly, urging him to slow down, to savor the beauty around him. He breathes deeply, feeling a tranquil resolve take root within. Perhaps, he thinks, it is time to return, to take the stories he has begun unraveling and share them in his own way. Rising from the rock, he retraces his steps toward the lighthouse, taking the pathway lined with grasses glittering like emeralds under the moonlight. Each step feels lighter now as he reflects on the connections he has forged, both with the past and his own adventurous spirit. The gentle crash of waves accompanies him, weaving a timeless melody that offers both solace and strength. Arriving back at the warmth of the lighthouse, he can see the lantern still flickering, a steady beacon in the night. Otto pushes open the door and steps inside, the familiar scent of oil and wood embracing him. He closes the door softly behind him, allowing the world outside to fade momentarily, although the echoes of the ocean still linger in his ears. He makes his way back to his reading nook, the journal waiting patiently on the table. With a contented smile, he picks it up and flips through the pages, the words of long ago travelers whispering to him in the candlelight. Each entry feels like an invitation to follow new paths, to explore uncharted territories both within and beyond himself. Otto takes a seat in the chair, once more sinking into its embrace, and he pulls a fresh page toward him, pen poised. The ink flows easily as he begins to write, capturing the essence of this night as adventures along the shore, the tide pool and its secrets, the moments of connection he felt. He allows the ink to blend with his thoughts, exploring how the night had transformed him, how it had deepened his understanding of solitude and community. The words flow freely, a stream of consciousness woven with surprise and joy, each letter a journey in itself. Time melts away as he loses himself in the rhythm of writing, feeling the gentle weight of fatigue tugging at his eyelids. The lantern beside him flickers on, the light dancing across the page as he captures the essence of the sea, its rhythms, its beauty, and its mystery. As he concludes his thoughts, he sets the pen down and leans back, gazing out the window at the vast canvas of stars above. The lighthouse stands tall, a guardian against the night, and the ocean whispers its eternal song to his soul. He feels a feeling of belonging in this space, surrounded by stories yet to be told and adventures awaiting beyond the horizon. With a soft yawn escaping his lips, Otto knows that he must surrender to sleep soon. He stands and carefully places the journal back on the table, conscious of the stories he carries within him. He can feel the tide of slumber beckoning, promising to take him on journeys anew. He blows out the flickering lantern, the room descending into shadow, while the sounds of the night fold around him like a comforting shroud. The world outside fades gently as he makes his way to his bed, the familiar sheets inviting him into their warmth. As he lies down, the echoes of the sea lull him, and the stars continue to twinkle over the vast ocean, whispering their secrets into the night. Otto closes his eyes, letting the gentle waves guide him into the comforting embrace of sleep, knowing that tomorrow will bring new revelations and stories awaiting discovery. The night stretches on, quietly cradling him in the embrace of possibility, as he drifts softly into the realm of dream stories held within the surf. The cool waves lap at his ankles, the salty breeze tousling his hair as he steps into the shallows. Each wave rolls in, a tender caress of the ocean, pulling him closer with every gentle touch. Otto's mind wanders amidst the sound of the surf, wondering who had once walked this very path, what dreams they carried as they gazed out at the same stars. He glances back at the distant glow of the lighthouse, a steadfast beacon guiding those lost in the night. Following the curve of the shoreline, his feet sink into the wet sand, leaving fleeting impressions that vanish into the receding tide. The rhythm of the waves is soothing, and with each stride, the mysteries of the ocean seem to reveal themselves to him. He stops now and then to study the glistening shells scattered across the sand, treasures left behind by the ebb and flow of time. Each shell holds the imprint of the sea, a small story waiting to be uncovered, just like the journal he had read. He meanders along the coast, the thrill of discovery invigorating him. The drizzle, though persistent, feels refreshing against his skin, mingling with the scent of the sea. The sound of laughter suddenly echoes in his memory, a faint reminder of days spent with friends exploring the shores of his childhood. He chuckles softly, recalling how they used to race along the tide, their bare feet slapping against the wet sand, the world filled with a kind of joy only youth can hold. As he walks, he notices something shimmering in the darkness ahead. Otto approaches, curiosity guiding him forward. It appears to be a piece of driftwood, its surface polished smooth by the relentless waves, and in the pale light of the moon, it glints like silver. He kneels down to examine it closely, running his fingers over its surface, feeling the contours of the wood as though it held the stories of the ocean within its fibers. He picks it up, holding it against the night sky, imagining the journeys this wood might have taken. Perhaps it traveled across the ocean from a distant shore, carried by the powerful currents. Each mark upon its surface tells a story of storms weathered, of calm waters, and the passage of time. With a feeling of reverence, Otto decides to keep the driftwood as a reminder of this night the night he ventured into the unknown, guided by the whispers of the sea and the shimmering stars. He secures it under his arm and continues his stroll, the soft sound of the rain weaving in and out with the rhythmic crashing of the waves. The coastline stretches before him, beautifully wild under the night sky. Otto contemplates his own journey, realizing how each step he takes contributes to his own story, one filled with dreams and aspirations, the kind of tales that fill the pages of the journal, both his own and that of the traveler long gone. He pauses to catch his breath, his heart filled with gratitude for the quiet solitude of the night, allowing him space to reflect. The moon rises higher, casting a gentle glow that illuminates the cliffs to his right, their rugged outlines softened by the mist. He feels a pull towards them, a quiet curiosity urging him on. As he ventures closer, the sound of the waves morphs from rhythmic crashes into a soothing lull, a calming hum that underscores the experience. The cliffs rise majestic and proud, craggy rocks standing as sentinels against the relentless tide. Otto finds a smooth, flat stone to sit upon, a perfect perch to take in the scene. The view is breathtaking, the ocean stretching endlessly under a sky twinkling with stars. He closes his eyes for a moment, listening to the symphony of water and wind, the whispers of the night filling his heart with peace. Otto breathes deeply, inhaling the salty air, feeling a feeling of belonging here, a small piece of the grand, unfolding narrative of life. Opening his eyes, he gazes toward the horizon, where the moonlight lays a shimmering path across the water, beckoning him to look further. Somewhere out there, beyond the reach of the waves, lie unique stories, dreams waiting to be born, just as he is beginning to understand his own. Time drifts on, and he watches as the clouds lace through the moonlight, shifting like thoughts across his mind. The night feels eternal, full of possibility and beauty, yet there comes a moment when he knows it's time to turn back. The night has shared its secrets, but it is not yet the dawn. Retrieving the driftwood, Otto stands and gazes back down the shore, the path he had walked glistening under the moon's embrace. As he returns, the world feels quieter, the ocean breathing softly as he tunes into its rhythm once more. The way home seems familiar yet new, each step a gentle reminder of the adventure that lay behind him. The lighthouse's beam cuts through the darkness, a reassuring presence guiding him back to the sanctuary. Once more, he feels the coolness of the dew-laden grass beneath his feet, the familiar sights around him offering comfort. He can hear the gentle patter of the rain, now a soothing accompaniment to his thoughts. Otto reaches the door of the lighthouse and pauses for a moment to look back at the vastness of the ocean. It stretches endlessly, an expanse of both mystery and warmth, waiting patiently for the next adventurer to tread its shores. With a small smile, he steps inside, the warmth wrapping around him like a blanket. Settling into the soft embrace of his chair once again, he places the driftwood on the table beside the journal. The intimacy of the night envelops him, and the memories of his exploration weave themselves into a comforting lullaby. The rain continues to dance against the window, a gentle reminder of the world outside, while the candlelight flickers softly in the hearth, keeping the shadows at bay. Otto stretches out, allowing himself to feel the deep, gentle fatigue of a day well spent. His mind drifts back to the journal, filled with tales of the unknown, and he feels the pull of adventure once more. He picks up the leather-bound book, running his fingers across its spine, feeling a kinship with the words contained within. Even as he repositions in his chair, having traveled beyond the shore, beyond the horizon, he finds solace in knowing that tomorrow will bring another day of discovery, another chance to write new stories. The light from the lantern flickers softly, casting warm hues in the room, and he marvels at how the darkness can hold so much beauty. As the rain continues to patter serenely against the window, Otto allows his thoughts to entangle like threads in a vast loom, merging dreams of the ocean with the serene comfort of home. Slowly, he begins to feel the pull of sleep once more, the day's adventure sinking into a gentle haze. The lighthouse stands as a silent guardian through the night, watching as Otto's eyelids grow heavy, holding space for all the stories that have yet to unfold. As he drifts off to sleep, the sound of the waves remains his lullaby, each breath a part of the gentle symphony of the seaside, and in the quiet depths of the night, he finds himself cradled by the promise of another day along the shore stories that whisper from the depths of the ocean. The moon, a solitary sentinel in the sky, casts a silver glow across the water, illuminating the foamy crests of the waves as they lap gently at the shore. Otto lets the cool water touch his ankles, the sensation both refreshing and grounding. The night air carries the scent of salt and earth, leaving him feeling both alive and serene as he begins to follow the curve of the coast. Otto walks slowly, allowing himself to become attuned to the sounds around him. The gentle crash of waves against the rocks, the occasional call of the distant gull, and the rustle of leaves in the breeze create a soothing symphony that seems to echo the stories he had read. The footprints linger in his mind, and he wonders about the person who left them what adventures they had, and how they felt as they explored this very coastline. Did they find peace here, just as he did? As he moves along the edge of the water, he comes across areas where the sand shifts, revealing small shells and bits of driftwood, remnants of the sea's treasures. Each piece holds its own narrative, a small echo of life beneath the waves. He kneels down, running his fingers over a smooth, polished shell, its surface cool and gleaming under the moonlight. He considers placing it in his pocket, a keepsake of this quiet night and a memento of the exploration that connects him to others who have walked this shore. Lifting his gaze, he notices a faint shimmer in the distance, perhaps a reflection of moonlight dancing on something larger washed ashore. Intrigued, he walks closer, the sound of the water a constant presence beside him. As he approaches, he can see the outline of what appears to be a piece of wreckage, weathered and worn by the elements. Examining it closely, Otto realizes it's part of an old fishing boat, its wooden frame splintered and darkened by time. The sight fills him with wonder. He questions how it came to be here, what stories it could tell of storms weathered and journeys taken. Running his hand along the rough surface, he imagines the fishermen of days gone by, their laughter and stories mingling with the salt air as they made their way to sea. Otto sits on a nearby rock, taking a moment to breathe in the cool, salty air. He closes his eyes briefly, letting his mind wander as he considers the lives connected to this place. The shipwreck speaks of adventure, loss, and resilience. Each crack and crevice tells of time's passage. It reminds him that life is a delicate balance of exploration and safety, a constant ebb and flow like the tides kissing the shore. Time slips quietly by as he contemplates the wreck, the rhythmic sounds of the ocean providing a steady heartbeat to the night. He feels a feeling of camaraderie with the past, as though the ghosts of those who once sailed are intertwined with his own story. When he finally opens his eyes, he notices the stars stretching above him, twinkling like distant lanterns scattered across a dark fabric. Realizing that the night is wearing on and he should return to the warmth of the lighthouse, Otto rises and brushes the sand from his trousers. As he walks back along the shore, he feels the sand shift softly beneath his feet. The horizon, with its endless possibilities and hidden wonders, begins to beckon him once more, whispering secrets that are just out of reach. As he nears the lighthouse, he takes a moment to glance back at the ocean, the moonlight reflecting off its surface, making it seem almost alive. It is a world of silence and mystery, where countless stories lay waiting to be discovered. With a heart full of dreams and tales yet to be written, Otto steps inside the lighthouse, the warmth enveloping him like a welcoming embrace. Inside, the gentle light of the lantern dances against the walls, creating playful shadows that shift with the flicker of the flame. He finds his chair, settling back into its familiar embrace, the driftwood from earlier still lying on the table beside the journal. The journal, with its pages filled with quiet revelations and tales from the sea, draws him in again. He opens it to the last page he read, his heart eager to continue the journey he had begun. As he reads, the rhythmic sound of the rain begins to pick up outside once more, a soft percussion against the lighthouse's sturdy walls. Otto finds comfort in the sounds. They weave a tapestry of peace, allowing him to focus on the words that flow before him. The stories he reads fill the room with imagination, the lives of strangers mirroring his own aspirations of adventure. The hours pass like gentle waves rolling into the night, and as Otto loses himself in the tales, his eyelids slowly grow heavy, the words on the pages becoming softer and less distinct. The warmth of the lantern, coupled with the soft patter of rain, tugs at him, inviting him to drift into a world of dreams. As the candlelight begins to flicker, he senses the night deepening, wrapping him in a serene embrace. He sets the journal down beside him and allows his head to rest against the back of the chair. The lighthouse stands sentinel, offering a calm and steady presence as the storm outside continues its quiet symphony. The world beyond the glass blurs into a distant memory, and Otto feels himself being cradled by the rhythm of the rain and waves. With each passing moment, he feels the gentle weight of sleep drawing him in. The tales of adventure and exploration mingle with the soft sounds of nature, lulling him deeper into relaxation. The ocean's whispers continue to call to him even as consciousness fades, tempting him with visions of hidden coves and distant shores. In these peaceful moments, Otto finds himself wandering through the dreams that await him. He envisions the lighthouse guiding wayward sailors, the moonlit path leading him to new conversations and familiar faces. Each image is imbued with warmth, a promise of adventure he knows he will return to, for the stories of the sea are never truly finished. And so, surrounded by the familiar sights and sounds of his sanctuary, Otto drifts off into a deep, restful sleep, embraced by the gentle mystery of the night. The lighthouse stands watch, a beacon of hope and warmth, safeguarding the stories yet to be told, patiently waiting for the next day to dawn anew stories whispered by the wind and tide. With each step along the wet sand, the cool moisture lingers on his skin, a refreshing reminder of the rain that had passed. The ocean stretches into the distance, dark and mysterious, its voice calling softly to him, promising tales that lay hidden beneath the surface. The flickering light of the lighthouse stands sentinel behind him, a reminder of home, yet the sea feels like a siren's call, asking him to venture further into its embrace. Otto allows his feet to sink into the sand, feeling the grain shift beneath him, cool and alive, shaped by the ceaseless ebb and flow of the tides. As he walks, he draws in the salty air, letting it fill his lungs, grounding him in this moment. The world around him feels expansive, yet intimately familiar, as though he has always belonged to this shoreline. He pauses to listen to the rhythm of the waves, their gentle lapping against the shore creating a soothing melody. In the moonlight, the water sparkles like diamonds scattered across a dark blue blanket, mesmerizing him with its beauty. He glances down at his feet, the faint outlines of footprints etched in the sand, remnants from earlier adventures. He wonders where those transient marks might lead, and if there are stories hidden in the spaces between. Drawing closer to the water, he allows the waves to touch his ankles, a refreshing shock that makes him smile. The sea cools the warmth that lingers from the lantern and the candlelight within the lighthouse. He lets the sensation wash over him, invigorating every sense as he looks out over the vast expanse. Then, from the corner of his eye, he spots a glimmer among the rocks further down the shore, catching his curiosity. Something has washed ashore, and he feels a pull toward it, as though the universe is conspiring to unveil another mystery. He begins to make his way toward the glimmer, the wet grass beneath his feet transitioning back to sandy patches before reaching the rocky outcropping. As he approaches, the moonlight reveals a small, weathered box partially buried in the sand. Otto kneels, brushing away the grains to uncover this new treasure. The box is made of dark wood, its surface worn smooth by the relentless embrace of the sea. It bears no markings or hinges, only the delicate pattern of barnacles clinging to its sides. He wonders how long it has been here, waiting for discovery. Fingers gently probing the edges, he manages to pry it open, the sound of creaking wood blending with the rhythm of the waves. Inside, he finds a collection of small items sea glass, polished and intricate, shimmering in various shades of green and blue, shells that speak of distant shores, and a tattered piece of paper, its edges frayed and stained with salt and time. He picks up the paper, unfolding it carefully. The ink is faded but somehow still legible, written in an elegant script. It appears to be a letter, its contents filled with longing and hope, recounting a journey taken along these very shores. The writer speaks of finding beauty in the simplest moments, of treasures hidden beneath the waves, and of a love lost yet forever remembered. Each word resonates within him, connecting him to the past, bridging the gap between their worlds. As he reads, Otto can imagine the weight of every emotion felt by the author, someone like him who had stood under the same stars, listened to the same waves, and walked along this very beach. He closes his eyes, feeling as though he is sharing a moment with a long-lost friend, someone who understood the world's mysteries just as he did. After finishing the letter, he places it gently back in the box, feeling grateful for this unexpected gift. The rain's descent has now ceased, leaving the air fresh and crisp, a reflection of the new stories yet to be uncovered, each waiting patiently like the treasures of the sea. Otto knows he'll return this box to the lighthouse, a relic to preserve among the tales he has gathered. Standing, he takes one last glance at the box before continuing along the shoreline. The journey feels different now, infused with purpose and the weight of history. Otto feels the connection deepen, not only to the sea but to the very fabric of life that has unfolded under the night sky. As he walks, his thoughts begin to drift to the idea of a voyage across the unknown, to discover not just the shores of distant lands, but also the stories woven by those who experienced them. The ocean before him teems with infinite possibilities, and he feels an urge to learn more about every wave that breaks against the sand, every current that pulls beneath the surface. Minutes flow into hours as the shoreline winds and curves, the moon's glow illuminating the path ahead. Otto carries the thought of the box and its letter with him, allowing it to guide him deeper into his contemplations. The faint lights of the lighthouse begin to fade in the distance, yet he feels no urgency to return just yet. The ocean continues to sing its lullaby, a rhythm he finds soothing and captivating. With each step, he notices the small details, the patterns in the sand, the whisper of the wind playing with the tall grasses along the shore, and the occasional call of a distant bird. Nature seems to share its secrets more freely in the quiet night, inviting him to listen more closely. Otto then finds a comfortable spot on a smooth rock worn by the sea. He takes a moment of rest, allowing the coolness of the stone to ground him, and he gazes out towards the horizon where the sky meets the water. It's a perfect canvas, painted with shades of dark blue and hints of silver from the moon. The gentle lapping of waves against the rocks feels like a heartbeat, a reminder of the life pulsing through this landscape. In this moment, he reflects on the journal, the box, and the letter. Each artifact intertwines with his own story, binding him to a community of souls who saw connection with the ocean. Otto feels inspired by their experiences, ignited by an excitement he hadn't known he missed. He envisions future walks along the coast, each accompanied by objects of the sea that speak of the past and give life to his dreams. As he's lost in thought, the cool night air brushes against his skin, encouraging him to stay grounded in the moment. Time drifts effortlessly as he finds himself caught in the embrace of nature, the simple beauty of the night imbuing his spirit with calm. The tide shifts, waves rolling higher and higher, and he marvels at how each swell is a new chapter, a new story waiting to unfold. Sitting there, he finds joy in the stillness, in the knowledge that life is not just about grand adventures, but also about these moments of quiet reflection, where dreams are birthed and nurtured in the silence of the night. Eventually, he feels a gentle tug of fatigue weaving through him as the hours continue to slip away, wrapped comfortably in the air around him. Otto rises, brushing the sand from his trousers, fully aware that the lighthouse light has begun its slow rotation, guiding him back toward its warmth and safety. The pull to return is undeniable, but he carries with him the magic of the night, the promise of more discoveries along this endless shore, and the stories that still await him. The path back feels familiar, the gentle crunch of pebbles underfoot blending with the soft rustle of the grass. He glances back at the ocean one last time, its vastness a reminder of the many mysteries yet to uncover. Each step takes him closer to the welcoming glow of the lighthouse, reminding him that the stories are not lost but are instead hidden within the hearts of those willing to seek them. As he reaches the door, the scent of the damp wood and the lingering salt from the sea mingle, offering a comforting embrace as he steps inside. The lantern still flickers, casting playful shadows across the walls, while the journal rests upon the table, waiting patiently for him to return. Otto realizes the night has gifted him more than just treasures. It has lent him inspiration and reminders of his own journey. Seated once more in his chair, he allows the warmth of the lantern to surround him, the familiar surroundings soothing his spirit. The sound of waves crashing against the shore hums quietly in the background, a lullaby that both tugs at his heart and wraps around him like an old friend. Otto takes the letter from the box, placing it carefully beside the journal, knowing it will find its rightful place among the stories that have shaped his life. He knows tomorrow will reveal more of the coast secrets, that the allure of adventure will always linger just beyond the horizon. With thoughts of the sea cradling him, he takes a deep breath, letting the possibilities fill him with confidence and joy. He allows his eyes to grow heavy again, feeling the connection between his dreams and the stories he has yet to write. As the night stretches on, Otto welcomes the sleep that emerges, the mystery of the ocean inviting him into its depths once more. The lighthouse stands watch over him, its light a steadfast promise that tomorrow will bring new discoveries, and for now, with the taste of adventure lingering, he surrenders to the gentle pull of slumber or he's hidden in the shadows of the coastline. The waves lap quietly against his ankles, each touch of the water sending a shiver of excitement up his spine. Otto begins to walk, the cool water curling around his feet, a soothing contrast to the warmth that lingers from his time inside the lighthouse. He focuses on the horizon where the moonlight dances on the surface of the sea, creating a shimmering pathway that seems to lead into infinity. With each step, the ocean breathes softly, its rhythmic pulse matching the cadence of his thoughts. The footprints he had seen earlier form a picture in his mind, and he wonders where they might lead. Were they made by someone like him, drawn to the coast by a calling, or perhaps by a traveler whose journey had long since been forgotten? Otto allows the questions to flow, unhurried, as he shifts his focus to the natural world around him. The air is filled with the scent of salt and wet earth, and the gentle drizzle continues to fall, creating an intimate atmosphere that envelops him. A nearby rock juts up from the beach, slick with the rain and glistening under the moonlight. Otto walks toward it, feeling the cool stone beneath his fingertips as he pauses for a moment to collect his thoughts. Sitting there, he lets the world around him sink in, the sounds of the ocean mingling with the soft patter of raindrops. Drawing a deep breath, he looks down the coast, where the outline of jagged cliffs emerges, their silhouettes dark against the starry sky. He imagines the stories those cliffs could tell, shaped by wind and water over countless years. Otto feels an urge to explore further, to continue tracing the shoreline to uncover what lies beyond each bend and curve in the land. As he rises to his feet, he glances back at the lighthouse, a steadfast companion in the night. Its light continues to sweep across the beach, a beacon of safety that reminds him he is never truly alone. With a smile, he returns his attention to the path ahead, his heart quickening with anticipation. Walking along the wet sand, he feels the thrill of discovery in every step, his thoughts unhurried. The ocean laps softly around him, the water shimmering in the moonlight as he ventures further down the coast. The contemplative nature of the evening fills him with calm, allowing his mind to wander to the past and the lives that had traversed this very ground. He finds himself wondering about the traveler who had penned the journal, imagining where they had journeyed from and what had brought them to this forsaken beach. Did they too find solace here, standing alone against the vast stretch of water? Did they share in the quiet joys of the night, allowing their heart to wander in tandem with the tides? Otto pauses, closing his eyes for a moment as the whispers of the past seem to echo through the air, the waves sharing secrets that only the sea knows. A slight movement catches his attention, and he opens his eyes, scanning the shoreline. It could be nothing, just the shadows dancing in the night, but something compels him to take a few steps closer to the edge of the water. There, where the sand meets the surf, he notices something a glint of metal reflecting the silver light of the moon. Curiosity piqued, he kneels down to take a closer look. As he brushes away the sand, revealing a small, rusted compass, Otto can't help but feel a connection. This object, once treasured, now lies forgotten, yet it has found its way back to him on this quiet night. He holds it gently, its surface still cool from the wet sand, and wonders about the journey it must have taken. Where had it navigated before arriving here, and who had held it in their hand, relying on it to find their way? Otto watches the waves roll in and out, feeling the compass's weight, not just in his palm, but in his heart. He decides to keep it safe, a token of the night, a reminder of the adventures that lie ahead and the roads yet to be traveled. Fingers lightly tracing the surface of the compass, he stands up, taking a moment to absorb the landscape anew. The rain has lightened, and the occasional sound of a seabird singing in the distance fills the air as though joining him in his solitude. The vastness of the ocean stretches before him, limitless and inviting. He makes his way back to the dry sand, where he can gather his thoughts. Sitting on the beach, he lets the compass rest beside him, its presence grounding as he watches the waves tumble forward. The horizon remains dark, save for the silver slivers of light that peek through the clouds. Time passes slowly, and in this tranquil moment, Otto begins to make sense of the countless stories entangled in his mind. He thinks of the footprints he had stumbled upon earlier, all those lives that had intersected with the shore, leaving traces of their existence in the sand. Each step, each visit, has added to the rich history of this coastline, and he sees himself as part of it, a thread woven into the fabric of something much larger than himself. As he sits, gazing out at the water, a feeling of peace settles over him. The sound of the ocean is both familiar and foreign, the gentle ebb and flow reminding him of everything he has yet to write and discover. The journal sits heavy with stories waiting to be shared, and he feels a feeling of urgency to inscribe his own chapters, adding to the stories of those who have come before him. With the compass beside him, he stands once more, invigorated by the mysteries around him. The lighthouse continues to stand tall in the distance, its light guiding him back home, but for now he allows the tide to pull him along the coast, feeling rejuvenated by the coolness of the water, the soft drizzle, and the intoxicating allure of adventure. He meanders along, stepping from wet sand to pebbles, letting the waves kiss at his feet while his mind wanders through the intricate connections of existence. Each drop of rain on his skin feels like a welcoming caress, reminiscent of the untold stories longing to be told. He imagines the traveler, now a specter of the past, walking the same path, yearning for meaning. The world around him fades into gentle hues of gray as the clouds drift overhead. Otto continues his stroll, enchanted by the mysteries of the night and the ocean's cadence wrapping around him. As the hours blend into one another, he feels a gentle heaviness in his limbs, a reminder that the night cannot last forever. The lantern from the lighthouse calls to him, illuminating the way back, but the journey back is not one of reluctance. It is filled with a feeling of fulfillment, a quiet assurance that he has uncovered something precious tonight. For each step back toward the lighthouse, he carries with him the compass and artifact of connection between his own story and those who had traversed the shore before. The rain begins to fade, and the night air becomes crisper, hinting at the coming of dawn, although the first light remains hidden behind the horizon. He takes one last look at the waves, their foam glistening in the dim light, their rhythm a loving heartbeat of the earth itself. Otto knows he will return to the sacred space, not just for the adventure it offers, but for the stillness it imparts, a stillness that sinks into his bones and guides his hand as he writes. Stepping back into the lighthouse, spattered with droplets of rain, Otto places the compass carefully on the table beside the journal. An echo of the night's explorations lingers in the air, and he feels a feeling of gratitude for the moments he has experienced and the stories yet to unfold. The lantern flickers gently, and he finds his chair, settling into the familiar embrace of warmth once more. He can almost hear the waves speaking softly in the background, recounting the tales of the night, and he leans back, allowing the weariness of the day to wash over him. Slowly, as he closes his eyes, Otto feels the gentle pull of sleep drift upon him like a soft, warm blanket. Images of the coastline, the compass, and the stories of the traveler echo in his mind, and he embraces the quiet, ready for the dreams of tomorrow's adventures to begin. The night may soon yield to dawn, but for now he rests, cradled by the gentle cadence of the ocean's lullaby, ready to awaken anew on this path through wet grass or he's waiting patiently in the soft sand and gentle breeze. The rhythmic sound of the waves crashing against the shore fills the air, a soothing backdrop to the night. He pauses for a moment, allowing the cold surf to lap at his feet, the coolness contrasting with the warmth of his body. The sand shifts beneath him, grain slipping away, revealing the stories buried deep within. Otto ventures forth, following the water's edge, the wet sand glistening like a dark canvas under the vast expanse of stars. A few scattered clouds drift lazily across the sky, but the moonlight breaks through, illuminating patches of the coastline, guiding his path. Each footfall brings forth the echoes of the past, the whispers of those who have walked before him, leaving their marks some visible, others felt. As he strolls along the shore, Otto scans the ground beneath him, searching for signs of the traveler he read about earlier. The satchel, the journal, the tales of adventure, they feel almost like a thread woven into his own fabric of existence. With each step, He marvels at how the universe has a way of connecting different lives, a gentle reminder that he is part of something larger. The night air is filled with the scent of salt and earth, the wind stirring his hair as he breathes deeply. Ahead, he notices a slight rise in the terrain, a cluster of smooth rocks protruding from the sand, their surface polished by years of waves beating against them. Curiosity piqued. He approaches as he climbs the rocks. The cool surface beneath his fingers reminds him of the natural artistry of the coastline. The shapes and contours of the stones tell stories, much like the journal he had read. With each step up, he feels a feeling of discovery, as though ascending toward a hidden treasure. Reaching the top, he takes a moment to survey the landscape. The waves crash against the rocks below, sending plumes of water into the air, sparkling like tiny diamonds under the moonlight. A sense of accomplishment washes over him, a feeling that the simple climb was a small adventure in itself. As Otto turns his gaze along the shoreline, he spots something glimmering in the sand farther down the beach. Intrigued, he descends from the rocks and makes his way toward the strange glimmer, his heart quickening with the thrill of potential discovery. Perhaps it's another artifact of the traveler or a piece of nature's hidden beauty waiting to be revealed. With each stride, the sound of the ocean grows louder, the anticipation building within him. When he reaches the spot, he kneels down, brushing away the sand with his fingers. The object emerges slowly, a small, glass bottle, its surface smooth and worn, a single piece of sea glass nestled inside. It catches the light just right, a wave of deep blue color swirling within. He gently lifts the bottle, turning it in his hands, sensing the energy of the ocean that once held it. Otto wonders about its journey where it has been, what stories it has witnessed. The thought brings an ache of longing to his heart. He places the bottle carefully on the sand beside him, allowing it to rest for a moment while he examines the sea glass more closely. It is a beautiful piece, a reminder of the ocean's continuous dance of creation and destruction. Otto imagines it having tumbled through the waves for years, polished by the ebb and flow, a testament to time itself. He feels connected to it and decides to keep it, to add to his collection of treasures gathered along the stretch of coastline. The soft sound of waves reminds him of the journal again, the connections that bind lives together, as he places the bottle into the satchel he still carries over his shoulder. With the night still stretching before him, the possibilities of exploration and discovery feel limitless. He rises to his feet, brushing sand off his knees, the cool breeze wrapping around him as he sets off further down the shore. Otto continues walking, feeling the pulse of the ocean deep within him. As he ventures forward, he begins to hum a gentle tune he remembers from his childhood, a melody that mirrors the sound of the waves' song of the sea. It rises and falls effortlessly, resonant with the energy of the night. A short distance away, he spots a series of rocks jutting out into the water. The water dances around them, creating pools of stillness amidst the rhythm of the waves. Curious, he approaches, wondering what secrets they might hold, perhaps small creatures tucked away in the crevices or fascinating shells that tell their own stories. When he reaches the rocks, he carefully navigates among them, watching his step. A few brave crabs scuttle away as he approaches, their small bodies disappearing into hidden crevices. He kneels down to inspect a shallow pool of water that has collected between two stones. Tiny fish dart about, their bodies glistening like silver as they swim beneath the surface. He leans closer, fascinated by the life thriving in the secluded corner. Otto gently dips his fingers into the cool water, the sensation sending a delightful shiver up his arm. The tiny fish swirl around him, undeterred by his presence, their movements fluid and lively, adding to the enchanting atmosphere of the night. As he watches the dance of life beneath the surface, Otto's mind drifts back to the journal and the impressions left by the traveler. How many moments like this did they experience? How many wonders did they uncover? He senses a kinship, a connection formed through their mutual curiosity and appreciation for the world. Feeling a wave of gratitude, Otto smiles softly to himself. He understands that every discovery, whether a piece of sea glass, the tale of a traveler, or the life surrounding him, forms part of a larger narrative, one that ties together not just moments but the souls of those who wandered before him. Rising from the pool, he continues his exploration, weaving between the rocks as the tide ebbs and flows. He catches sight of shells scattered along the beach, remnants of creatures who once inhabited the sea. The textures and colors capture his attention, each shell unique and beautiful in its own right. He kneels down once more, collecting a few shells that catch his eye, a pearly white one, a vibrant orange fragment, and a broken piece of deep purple. Otto holds them gently in his palm, feeling the smooth surfaces against his skin. They are reminders of the ocean's artistry, symbols of his journey along the shore. Each shell has its own story, just like the journal, the compass, and the bottle. The hour deepens as he stands back up, the air thickening with the coolness of the night, and Otto knows he has spent enough time in contemplation. The lighthouse, his beacon of comfort and safety, stands tall in the distance, a reminder of the warmth waiting for him. Turning back toward the glow of the lantern, he lets the treasures he collected settle comfortably in the satchel, feeling a feeling of fulfillment. With each step away from the waves, he allows the melodies of the sea and the mysteries of the night to accompany him, the sound of the surf calming his thoughts. As he nears the lighthouse, the light dances over the landscape, casting shadows that shift and sway with him. The path through the wet grass is familiar now, each blade brushing against his ankles as he walks. Otto takes a deep breath, filling his lungs with the brisk, salty air. Back inside the warmth of the lighthouse, he closes the door behind him, the sound of the crashing waves gently muffled by the walls. The lantern flickers softly, illuminating the room as he places his treasures on the table. Each piece of shell, the bottle, the compass sits with its own story, intertwining in a quiet chorus of memories. Otto settles back into his chair, a warm mug of tea waiting for him as the light from the lantern wraps around him like a well-worn blanket. The ocean sun plays softly in the background, and he allows the comfort of the night to envelop him, his mind filled with the beauty he has discovered. The journal lies open beside him, and he runs his fingers over its textured cover, reminded of the traveler who had shared their stories with him. Otto picks up a quill, dipping it into the ink, ready to pen thoughts inspired by the night, the reflections of the sea, the treasures found, and the ever-present connection that binds him to the past. As he writes, the words flow easily from his mind to the page, capturing the essence of his journey along the shore. The lantern flickers, and for a moment he glances out the window, watching the waves continue their eternal dance, knowing they carry within the dreams and memories not just of him, but of all who have come before. When he sets the quill down, the night has deepened, and a calm settles over him. He leans back in his chair, the warmth of the lantern bathing him in light. Outside, the rain has ceased, leaving the world washed clean and shimmering under the moonlight. As the hour grows late, he feels the day drawing to a close, a gentle reminder of the beauty that comes with letting go. He knows he will carry the echoes of this night with him, the stories of the traveler and the treasures gathered, a piece of the coastline forever etched in his heart. Otto closes his eyes, allowing the soft cadence of the waves to lull him into a gentle reverie, a feeling of tranquility accompanying him into the depths of sleep, where dreams of distant shores and endless journeys await or he's hidden beneath the stars. With each wave that rolls in, Otto feels the cool water lap against his ankles, invigorating and uniting him with the essence of the ocean. The salty mist clings to his skin, and the rhythmic pulse of the sea resonates in his heart, a steady companion as he walks. He takes a deep breath, the air rich with the scent of seaweed and damp earth, and feels the tension of the day slip away, carried off on the tide. The faint outlines of rocks jutting from the water draw his attention, their silhouettes dark against the shimmering waves. He knows the stretch of coastline well, yet in the dim light, each familiar feature takes on a new shadowy form. He moves closer to the rocks, curiosity guiding his steps. As he draws near, he spots something glinting among the stones, an object kissed by the sea. Kneeling down, he brushes aside seaweed and sand, revealing a small, smooth stone embedded with flecks of silver. It captures the faint light, sparkling like the distant stars above. Otto picks it up, rolling it between his fingers, pondering its journey before reaching him. Such simple beauty speaks to the vast stories contained within the ocean, and he smiles at the thought of all the treasures waiting to be found. He rises and continues along the shore, his thoughts meandering alongside the ebb and flow of the water. The tales from the journal mingle with his own memories like sweet melodies, the time spent with his father along these very sands, the way they would spend hours searching for shells, feeling the cool waves break at their feet. It was a place of laughter, warmth, and companionship, and now it fills him with a feeling of belonging as he walks alone under the stars. Further along the beach, he pauses as he notices a series of stones arranged in a deliberate pattern, each one a different size and shape. Worn smooth by the relentless kiss of the ocean, Otto crouches down, studying them closely. The arrangement is intriguing, almost as though someone had crafted a message or a path leading onward. His mind races with possibilities. Could it be a sign from the traveler whose journal he had found? A remnant of their journey left behind for others to discover. Carefully, he traces the outline of the stones with his fingertips, feeling the cool surface and the gentle resistance of the sand around them. Each stone seems to resonate with energy, a piece of a larger puzzle waiting to be uncovered. He sits back for a moment, considering the mystery of the scene before him. Nature often speaks in riddles, and this one beckons him to step forward, to follow the path laid out before him. With renewed curiosity, Otto stands and allows the soft sound of the waves guiding him to take the first step. He follows the line of stones, their placement leading him slightly further from the water's edge, toward the grassy dunes that rise above the beach. The ground is firmer here, damp but stable beneath his feet, contrasting with the shifting sands. As he walks, the night air carries an invigorating freshness, a reminder that mysteries can unfold in even the quietest corners of life. He glances back toward the sea, the moon illuminating the frothy tips of the waves, casting a silver sheen across the surface. Otto feels a feeling of harmony with the world, as though each element, the sea, the stars, the stones, aligns in a silent understanding, guiding him onward. After a few moments of following the stones, he reaches the edge of the grassy knoll where the sand meets the earth, a small rise that overlooks the coastline. A tangle of wildflowers, their colors muted by the night, dances in the gentle breeze, and he stops to admire the quiet beauty surrounding him. It all feels timeless here, as though the spot has witnessed countless moments of wonder, just waiting for someone to appreciate its subtle magic. In the soft silvery light, Otto notices a slight glint in the grass. He kneels once again, curiosity tugging at him. He carefully brushes aside the blades, revealing a small, tarnished locket, its surface worn but its craftsmanship still evident. With delicate fingers, he opens it, revealing a faded portrait inside a man and woman, their expressions full of hope and dreams long past. Otto's heart stirs as he examines the locket, feeling the weight of the memories that might be held within. Who were they, he wonders? Lovers separated by time, perhaps, or companions whose paths had intertwined under the same moonlight he now stood beneath. The locket serves as a bridge between the present and the past, a tangible reminder that connections can span generations, even when separated by the sea and time. Cradling the locket in his palm, he rises again, the warmth of discovery filling him with renewed purpose. This evening has transformed into something more than a solitary stroll. It has become a journey of connection, a thread weaving him into the tapestry of those who once walked these shores. Otto turns back toward the coastline, letting the stars guide him like distant beacons, each one a story waiting to be told. The waves continue their tireless rhythm, singing songs of old that carry whispers of love, loss, and the beauty of what remains. He feels a feeling of kinship with the locket, understanding that it, too, holds the weight of someone's history, its secrets locked away yet yearning to be remembered. He makes his way back to the shoreline, the cool water greeting him again, sending gentle splashes that mirror his growing excitement. He thinks of the treasures still hidden in the sand, awaiting the next curious soul to discover them. He walks deliberately, eyes scanning the ground, feeling the softness of the earth beneath him shift with every step. The locket rests safely in his pocket, the stories of others nested alongside his own thoughts. From time to time, he glances up at the night sky, the stars twinkling above, as though encouraging him to unravel even more mysteries. Eventually, He reaches the point where he first stepped onto the shore, the water's edge now seeming like a friend welcoming him home. Otto pauses, giving himself a moment to soak in the vastness around him, the moonlight casting a soft glow over the landscape. He lets his gaze drift toward the horizon, where the sea and sky blend into one vast expanse. Time feels suspended here, the worries of the world fall away, leaving only the serenity of the ocean's lullaby. In this quiet space, Otto feels a profound sense of gratitude for the connections he has forged, both with the traveler from the journal and with the long-forgotten lovers in the locket. The horizon glimmers like a pathway leading him onward, and without hesitation, Otto turns back toward the lighthouse. The familiar sight stands strung against the night sky, its light still shining, a steadfast guardian of the coastline. As he walks, he thinks about how this journey has opened up his heart to the stories waiting to be discovered, and he finds comfort in the idea that he is part of a larger narrative, a continual cycle of wanderers and dreamers. When he reaches the base of the lighthouse, he pauses, taking a moment to breathe in the quiet. The lantern's light spills from the window, welcoming him back into its warm embrace. Otto can feel the power of the night lingering around him, and he knows that every journey, no matter how small, carries with it a piece of something greater. Once inside, he places the locket on the table next to his treasured finds, each item now a reminder of the wonder that exists in the world. The journal rests nearby, and he thinks about the tales still waiting to be added, the stories of the night that will intertwine with his own. The warmth of the lantern wraps around him, and he settles back into his chair, a deep sense of fulfillment washing over him. With a soft sigh, he opens the journal once more, ready to pen the night's adventures, feeling the connection between himself and the travelers of the past grow ever stronger. As he writes, Otto allows his mind to drift, the rhythmic sound of the waves blending seamlessly with his thoughts. The stories of the ocean, the glint of the locket, and the echo of footsteps along the shore become part of his narrative, a gentle reminder that all journeys, whether taken in solitude or in the company of kindred spirits, bring us closer to the heart of life itself. The soothing sound of the surf continues to play in the background, and as the hours stretch on, the world outside remains peaceful, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. Otto writes until his eyelids grow heavy, thoughts flowing onto the pages, the words becoming a tender lullaby for his soul. Finally, he sets the quill down, feeling a warm swell in his chest. The tales he has gathered tonight will become part of the lighthouse's history, and in his heart, he knows that he, too, is woven into the fabric of this coastline the memories of the sea, the echoes of laughter, and the whispers of the stars guiding him ever onward, even in the stillness of night. With a contented sigh, Otto rises from his chair, feeling the gentle pull of sleep beckoning him. He extinguishes the lantern, the warm glow fading into the shadows, leaving him wrapped in the cozy embrace of night. The sound of the waves lulls him, bringing comfort as he finds his way to bed, knowing that tomorrow will bring new adventures, new mysteries, and new stories waiting to be discovered along the coast. And as he lays down, the world around him succumbs to the hushed peace of the night, a gentle reminder that within every heart resides the capacity to explore, to connect, and to dream worries hidden within the sand and salt water. With each wave that creeps closer, he can feel the cool mist against his skin, invigorating and refreshing. The moon hangs overhead, casting silvery light across the undulating surface of the sea, making it shimmer like scattered pearls. The rhythmic sound of the surf seems to whisper encouragement, urging him to venture further down the coast, past the familiar contours of the beach where he often roamed. Otto walks slowly, savoring the gentle caress of the breeze weaving through his hair. The weight of his day's discoveries slips away as his thoughts drift around the tales of the traveler from the journal. The stories resonated deep within him, awakening and yearning to uncover his own adventures, to become a part of the landscape that stretches endlessly before him. Waves lap at the shore, each retreat revealing more of the sand, glistening under the moonlight. Otto kneels, running his fingers through the cool grains, searching for shells or any remnants left behind by the ocean. He remembers the voice of the traveler, inscribed in the journal, speaking of treasures hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be found by those who take the time to seek them out. He stands again, scanning the horizon, where the ocean meets the sky in a soft blur, and feels compelled to follow the path made by the water's friction, to trace the line between land and sea. The footprints he had seen earlier seemed to echo back to him, calling out from the soft contours of the sandy shore. Otto wonders if perhaps the footprints were leading to something hidden, perhaps another satchel, or even a forgotten message from another time. The night deepens around him, and he walks farther, the sound of the waves growing in intensity as he approaches a small cove nestled in the rocks. The gentle arc of the shore provides a feeling of sanctuary, and Otto feels a thrill of anticipation at the thought of what he might discover here. He moves cautiously, the rocks moist and slippery beneath his feet, but he feels a bond with the earth, grounding him in the moment. As he navigates along the edge, the lantern left behind glows faintly in the distance, providing a comforting reminder of home. He doesn't stray far, keeping it in his line of sight while allowing the faint light to guide his journey. Curious shadows dart along the rocky outcrops, and he pauses, listening to the hush of the night, the silence punctuated only by the occasional call of a seabird settling on its perch for the night. Reaching the edge of the cove, he notices a small indentation in the rocks, partially obscured by seaweed and smooth stones. Otto approaches, his heart quickening with each step, feeling almost as though the ocean itself is unveiling a secret just for him. He kneels, brushing aside the wet strands of seaweed, and reveals what looks to be a small, rugged box encrusted with barnacles and worn by the tides. The box, though weathered, holds an air of mystery, a testament to the stories it has seen. With reverence, he lifts the box, feeling the weight of time in his hands, and sets it gently on the ground before him. Otto traces the patterns etched into its surface, wondering about its origins and the tales it might contain. The water lapping at the edges of the cove sings a tune, intertwining with his thoughts, and he can almost hear the voices of the past echoing in the moonlight. He fumbles with the latch, it creaks open, and inside lies a collection of items, each with its own story. Old letters, yellowed with age, tied neatly with fraying twine. A delicate conch shell, its surface polished smooth by the caress of waves. A small compass, its needle trembling gently against the pull of the earth. Otto's heart swells. He feels as though he has stumbled into the very heart of another's journey, a journey filled with longing and discovery. He lifts the letters carefully, scanning the faded ink, his imagination igniting with the lives that pen these words. Each note reveals snippets of longing, love lost to the sea, and hopes penned on distant shores. The tales spill forth like echoes searching for a listener, and Otto finds himself captivated. Here, in this secluded cove under a starry sky, he is not just an observer but a participant in the lives of those long gone. Time slips away as Otto immerses himself in the letters, the world around him fading into a soft hum. The tide ebbs and flows, and he feels a kinship with those who once held these letters close, who poured their hearts into the pages, hoping for the waves to carry their whispers to a loved one. He is filled with gratitude for the connection he shares with these remnants of the past, and the lantern's gentle light feels ever more distant as he loses himself among the words and sentiments. After a while, the night grows deeper, and the sea breeze becomes cooler, nudging him to pack up the box and its delicate contents. He gently ties the letters, placing the shell alongside them, and carefully closes the box once more. Otto holds it to his chest, feeling its quiet weight echoing the longings of the souls who once cast their dreams here. As he stands to take his leave, he glances back at the cove, a hidden place where histories intersected. He understands now that, while he may tread his own path, he walks among the stories of others, each step a gentle reminder of the interconnectedness of all lives that have breathed along this coastline. His journey back feels different, imbued with a feeling of purpose, as though he carries not just the physical box, but the spirits of those who sought refuge, love, and adventure. The lantern glimmers and flickers in the distance, guiding him home, just as the stories have been guiding him through the night. Reaching the lighthouse, Otto steps inside, the warmth wrapping around him instantly. He sets the box on the table beside the journal, his heart racing with joy at the thought of documenting yet another tale, one filled with a serendipitous find. The lantern flickers warmly, creating a beacon of solace as he takes a seat, fingers poised over paper, ready to recount the mysteries uncovered. The night continues, each word he writes weaving together the past and present, a bridge connecting the lives of those he has just met through their stories. He reflects on the footprints he found earlier and how they led him to this moment and unexpected gift bestowed by the night. The gentle rhythm of the waves remains a constant companion as he delves into the tales of the past, the adventure echoing in his heart. Time seems to fold in on itself. He loses track of the hours, his pen gliding across the pages, merging his own narrative with the whispers of the ocean and the dreams of those who came before. As the clock inches toward dawn, Otto pauses to look out of the window. The horizon begins to soften, a faint blush of color breaking through the darkness. He takes a deep breath, feeling the warmth of creation swirling around him, knowing that the stories he captured will outlive the night, becoming part of the very fabric of the lighthouse's history. Despite the lingering heaviness in his eyelids, Otto feels alive, invigorated by the adventures he has lived through the night, each moment guiding him closer to the heart of his own story. And with that thought, he continues to write, merging the mystical and mundane, each word flowing effortlessly from the pen to the page, until finally he lays down his quill, ready to relinquish the day to the horizon. In that serene moment, as twilight surrenders to dawn, he allows the gentle pull of sleep to take him, heart full, dreams alive with the knowledge that every exploration, every whispered tale, is part of a larger journey, an eternal quest to uncover the secrets shared by the sea, the coast, and the lives that have danced along its estuaries buried deep within the sands of time. The ocean stretches infinitely before him, each wave a reminder of the countless lives touched by its tides. Otto takes a deep breath, filling his lungs with the briny air, invigorated by the scent of salt and damp earth. The moon hangs high above, casting a silvery glow over the water and illuminating the way as he walks along the shoreline, the soft lapping of the waves creating a melodic backdrop. With each step, the cool water washes over his ankles, sending a shiver of delight through him. The gentle pull of the tide feels like an invitation, urging him forward into the depths of the night. He allows the water to flow around him, the sensation grounding him while also igniting a curiosity that flickers brightly within his heart. Otto's mind drifts back to the journal, the words within resonating in harmony with the sound of the waves. He recalls the tales of distant lands and the yearning for adventure that filled each page, stories echoing the very essence of the coast's beauty, mystery, and longing. Perhaps, he thinks, this night has its own stories waiting to be discovered along the sand. He walks carefully, eye scanning the shoreline for any new clues, the possibility of finding shells or remnants of the past that might speak to him in whispered echoes. As he strolls, he begins to notice how the rain has transformed the beach. The sand is glistening, and tiny rivulets have formed, leading the water playfully toward the ocean. With the rain softening the world, every detail feels magnified, vibrant, as though the entire coast has been reborn. After some time, Otto comes upon a section of the beach where the waves have carved intricate patterns into the sand. He kneels to inspect them, fingers brushing against the damp grains, feeling a connection to the rhythm of nature. In this moment, he is reminded of the footprints he had discovered earlier, the way they had led him on a journey of his own. Perhaps he will find more, he muses, a treasure hidden in plain sight. As he rises, his gaze flickers toward the horizon, where the darkened sky begins to show faint hints of color. The transition from night to day brings a feeling of anticipation, heightening his senses. The world feels alive around him, the ocean breathing softly as it caresses the shore. The tide ebbs and flows, and in that constant motion, Otto feels the heartbeat of the earth beneath his feet. He continues walking, drawn toward a cluster of rocks further down the coastline, their silhouettes standing proud against the backdrop of the sea. As he approaches, he notices something nestled among the stones, a glint of something shiny, half buried in the sand. Excitement tingles in his fingers as he kneels once more, brushing away the grains to reveal an old compass, its surface tarnished but still gleaming with the promise of adventure. Otto carefully lifts the compass, turning it over in his hands. Although it bears the marks of age, it feels sturdy, as though it has weathered many storms and countless journeys. The needle dances erratically for a moment before settling, pointing steadily toward the north. He can't help but smile. The compass feels like a kindred spirit, a guide for both his explorations and those who have come before him. He pockets the compass, content with this new treasure, and continues down the beach, glancing at the sky as the first light of dawn slowly breaks free from the grasp of night. Hues of peach and lavender merge and swirl across the horizon, painting the world anew. The beauty of the sunrise spreads warmth within him, and he feels gratitude for this moment, for the adventures, both past and future, intertwined with every step he takes. As the sun rises higher, the light plays beautifully across the water, each wave glistening like jewels scattered across a vast, blue canvas. Otto pauses to watch, captivated by the way the light dances upon the surface. This spectacle reminds him of the journal, the stories that continue to breathe life into the past. He can only imagine the places that compass has guided others, the hidden coves, the distant lands, and the uncharted territories waiting to be explored. With renewed energy, he decides it's time to gather his thoughts, to find a quiet spot where he can document the night's discoveries. Turning back, he retraces his steps along the shoreline, the softness of the wet sand embracing his feet with each stride. The sound of the waves remains a constant companion, as does the distant calling of seabirds, their cries echoing in the early morning air. Eventually, Otto reaches the lighthouse, the sturdy structure standing tall against the encroaching warmth of the morning sun. He steps inside, feeling the familiar comfort of the space wrap around him. The lantern still casts a gentle glow within, its light now mingling with the new day unfolding outside. Otto sets the compass on the table next to the journal, placing it carefully as though it were a precious artifact. He retrieves the leather-bound journal and opens it to a blank page, the crisp paper waiting patiently for his words. He sits at the table, a feeling of peace settling over him as he picks up his pen. He reflects on the night's adventures, the stories of those who have traversed these lands, each journey woven into the very essence of the coast. And now, there are new tales, his own experiences, the discovery of the compass, the beauty of the shoreline after rainfall. He allows the words to flow freely, capturing every detail, every feeling that swirls within him, bringing life to the pages once more. As he writes, he notices the soft light streaming through the window, illuminating the room and warming his skin. The ocean outside continues its rhythmic dance, a reminder of the stories waiting to be shared, each wave carrying echoes of laughter, love, and longing. The more he writes, the more he feels connected not only to the past, but also to the present, to the land and sky that hold so many secrets yet to be unveiled. The morning slips by gently, the sun rising higher and casting a warm golden glow over everything it touches. With each stroke of the pen, Otto loses himself in the magic of storytelling, weaving together the lives of others with the thread of his own. The lighthouse becomes a sanctuary, a safe haven where the past and present converge in harmony. Time flows seamlessly, and before he realizes it, the sun has climbed to its zenith. Otto stretches, feeling a pleasant weariness settle in his bones. He stands and moves to the window, looking out at the vast ocean, the currents now shimmering under the bright sunlight. The shoreline stretches far and wide, inviting him for another exploration, a chance to walk along its edge and discover what stories lie hidden beneath the waves. Reluctantly, he tears himself away from the warmth of the sun and the charm of the lighthouse for a moment longer, making sure his notes are secure within the journal. With the compass tucked safely in his pocket, he sets out once more, stepping outside to feel the warmth of the day envelop him. The grass, still damp from the morning dew, feels cool against his feet as he walks. Otto heads toward the water again, eager to explore the shore in the light of day. The sun sparkles on the waves, transforming the ocean into a shimmering expanse of blues and greens, dancing joyfully beneath the gaze of an awakening sky. As he approaches the water, he feels compelled to walk closer, the memory of the soothing embrace of the waves still fresh in his mind. Each step is deliberate, marked by both curiosity and reverence for the fluid motions of the sea. The shoreline here is alive with the sounds of nature, the call of gulls, the rustle of grass bending in the soft breeze, and the steady pulse of the ocean, which brings a feeling of tranquility to his heart. He wanders farther along the beach, observing the intricate shells and pieces of driftwood that have washed ashore. Each find is a glimpse into the stories of the ocean, tokens of lives that ebb and flow with the tides. Otto realizes how interconnected these small objects are. Each one carries a history, a journey of its own. He bends down to examine a particularly beautiful shell, its colors vibrant and swirling, and feels a feeling of awe for the beauty that exists in this moment. As he continues along the shore, he comes across a small tidal pool, its surface shimmering like glass under the sun. He kneels beside it, gazing into the clear water where tiny fish dart about, weaving in and out of the shadows cast by the rocks. The world below the surface is just as alive as the one above, a hidden universe existing in tandem with his own. Otto watches in fascination, the rhythm of the ocean and the vibrant life within the tidal pool captivating him completely. He closes his eyes briefly and listens to the sounds, the gentle lapping of water, the breeze rustling the tall grass, the distant call of a ship passing by. In this moment, he feels truly anchored to the land, the coast, the stories all entwined in the fabric of existence. As the day marches on, the sun casts warm rays upon his skin, lifting his spirits even higher. Otto rises and begins to wander again, moving slowly, savoring the sights and sounds around him. He allows the compass in his pocket to guide his heart, each step a reminder of where he has been and where he hopes to go. Time slips away as he explores, lost in the gentle sway of nature, the vibrant colors of wildflowers blooming along the path bringing joy to his heart. The day holds promises of discovery, of hidden nooks and crannies that have yet to unveil their stories. Eventually, he finds a cozy spot nestled between two large rocks where he can sit and rest, observing the ocean's movements as it dances against the shore. The warmth of the stones wraps around him like a comforting blanket, bracing the weariness from his body. He takes a deep breath, closing his eyes for a moment, allowing the soothing sounds of the waves and the gentle rustle of leaves above to lull him into a state of calm. As the sun continues its journey across the sky, Otto reflects on the adventure of the day. He thinks of the journal, the compass, the interconnectedness of all lives that have walked this coastline before him and will continue to do so long after he's gone. Each moment feels rich with meaning, an echo of the past wrapped in the warmth of the present, and as he gazes out at the horizon, he feels a swell of gratitude for the winding journey that has brought him here, to this very spot. It is a peaceful afternoon, the world around him a beautiful balance of light and shadow. The tide begins its slow rehearsal for evening as the sun inches toward the horizon, casting long shadows along the beach. Otto rises, the pull of the lighthouse urging him back, the stories waiting to be scribed, the tales demanding to be told. He walks back along the shore, heart light, mind clear, ready to weave together the wonders of the day with the tales within the leather-bound journal. Each step leaves an imprint on the sand, and he takes solace in knowing that it, too, is just another story, another moment that will be carried away by the waves, leaving room for new adventures to unfold. As he approaches the lighthouse, the golden light of the setting sun spills through the windows, welcoming him home. Otto steps inside, feeling the warmth of the space envelop him. He makes his way to the table, where his notes and compass await him, ready to guide him through the stories he has yet to pen. Sitting down, he retrieves the journal and opens it to a fresh page, a feeling of anticipation tingling in his fingertips. The sun dips lower, painting the skies in vibrant hues of orange and pink, and the ocean sighs with contentment as the day prepares to surrender to the night. Otto picks up his pen, ready to capture the essence of the day, the discoveries, the treasures, the beauty that lies in every moment. Within the walls of the lighthouse, the world outside slips away, leaving only the stories waiting to be told, as the gentle rhythm of the waves continues to echo in the distance, a lullaby for the heart. The golden hues of the setting sun wrap around Otto, a warm embrace that seems to seep into the very fabric of the lighthouse. He settles into the rhythm of his pen flowing across the paper, each stroke a gentle tap on the canvas of his thoughts. As he captures the essence of the day, the sound of the waves crescendos and decrescendos outside, echoing the familiarity of a lullaby sung through the ages. Otto writes of the tidal pool, his words painting images of the tiny fish darting below the surface, their movements like whispers of life in vibrant waters. He jots down the wildflowers, their colors bold against the backdrop of the sky purples, yellows, and soft whites swaying gently in the afternoon breeze. His pen dances across the page, each word a reminder of the beauty and connection he feels with this land, this coastline. As he writes, the light in the room begins to shift, shadows creeping softly along the walls. The sky outside gradually deepens, the oranges shifting to dusky purples, heralding the arrival of twilight. Otto pauses, looking out the window as a solitary seagull glides across the horizon, silhouetted against the fading light, its wings catching echoes of gold. The sight brings a smile to his lips, a reminder of the freedom that comes with exploration and the call of the sea. He turns back to his writing, but the words seem to dissolve for a moment, as his mind drifts to the mystery of the footprints he had seen earlier. He wonders about the stories they could tell, about the souls who walked this path before him. Each imprint in the sand carries a piece of history. Who were they, and where did they wander? As Otto contemplates, he feels an urge to document this curiosity, to explore the interwoven lives that have graced this coast. Just as he begins to scribble down his thoughts on the footprints, a light tapping sound resonates from the lighthouse door. Otto looks up, momentarily startled, but it is just the gentle patter of rain beginning to fall again, soft and rhythmic against the wooden structure. A sense of calm fills the space, the sounds of nature blending perfectly with the soft scratch of his pen. With the rain beginning to patter, Otto moves to the window, watching as the droplets embrace the earth. The world outside seems to come alive with the sound, lapping against the shore in a symphony of water. The rhythmic dance of rain and waves merges into a soothing melody, and Otto finds himself mesmerized, captivated by how the landscape transforms under the sky's gentle weeping. He watches intently as the drops slide down the window panes, each streak tracing a path, merging like lives connected by fate. The grasses outside, now glistening and vibrant from their drink, dance lightly with the wind, rejoicing in the nourishing shower. Otto feels the familiar pull of inspiration, the urge to capture the beauty unfolding before him. He takes a moment to inhale deeply, savoring the fresh scent the rain brings, a scent that mingles with the lingering aroma of salt from the sea. Returning to his desk, he decides to write about the rain's arrival, how it breathes new life into the world around him. His words flow with ease, wrapping themselves around the experience like a comforting shawl. The thought of how the rain feeds the very ground he stands upon connects him to the land, fostering a feeling of respect for the cycle of life that unfolds so unabashedly before him. Otto lets the pen guide his thoughts, his heart open to the rhythm of the evening. Each word becomes a tribute to the interconnected stories of the flowers and fish, the shoreline and the rain. Hours slip by unnoticed as he writes, the moon peeking through the clouds, casting a soft glow upon the pages of his journal. Eventually, his hand begins to tire, the ink drying against the page. He stretches, glancing outside to find that twilight has deepened into night. The ocean, glistening under the moonlight, rolls rhythmically in waves, while the lighthouse stands steadfast, a beacon amidst the darkness. The world beyond the glass seems peaceful, wrapped in the hushed tones of night. Otto can feel the day's adventure settling into memory, a soft satisfaction filling him. He stands and walks to the balcony, where he can better take in the vast expanse of the coast. The rain has ceased, leaving behind a shimmering sheen on the sand and rocks, and the air is fresh and cool. Otto leans against the railing, gazing out at the sea, the gentle lap of the waves a constant reminder of nature's presence. Suddenly, he notices something out on the water, a soft light flickering in the distance. He squints, trying to discern its source. It glimmers like a star fallen from the heavens, dancing playfully atop the waves. Intrigued, Otto's heart quickens, thoughts racing with possibilities. Was it a passing ship, perhaps a lantern carried by someone exploring the coastline in the night? Or something else entirely, an echo of the mysteries that the ocean holds? Captivated by the light, he watches intently, feeling a feeling of kinship with the ocean that stretches beyond the horizon. The flickering continues as he stands, the cool breeze brushing softly against his face. Otto recalls the journal he once found, its tales igniting passions within him, a connection to the past that whispers of adventure. His mind dances with ideas for the stories to come, how he might weave this flickering light into the tapestry of his own journey, becoming part of the narrative that unfolds along the coast. Just then, a chill runs through the air, prompting him to retreat back inside. As he closes the door against the cool night, he feels a renewed energy coursing through him, the mystery of the flickering light urging him to explore further, to seek out the tales waiting to be discovered. He returns to the table, flipping through his journal, glancing at the notes he has taken on the day's adventures. As he begins to gather his thoughts, the lighthouse remains a guardian of the night, its steady beam cutting through the darkness, a promise of safety in a world that often seems vast and uncertain. The breeze outside shifts, bringing with it the salty scent of the sea, mingling with the earthly aroma of rain-soaked soil. Otto sets his pen down for a moment, breathing deeply. He allows his mind to drift, pondering the many lives that have traversed these shores, searching for their own flickering lights. Each wave that crashes upon the sand carries whispers of their stories, and he feels a bond with them, a thread binding their journeys to his own. As the clock strikes midnight, the lighthouse remains alive with the gentle echoes of the ocean, the rhythm of waves marking time in a world that feels both ancient and new. Otto knows that tomorrow will bring new stories, new discoveries, yet the night draws him closer to the heart of the tales that have always surrounded him. Stepping outside once more, he gazes up at the Inkai sky dotted with stars, each one a beacon calling to his adventurous spirit. He allows the cool air to wash over him, a soft reminder of the magic that resides in the darkness. Otto takes a moment, feeling small and yet significant under the vastness of the universe, and he can't help but smile at the mysteries that still lay ahead, waiting for him to find them, waiting for him to take part in their unfolding. With a heart full of anticipation, he retreats back inside, preparing for sleep, knowing that the stories he has yet to tell are always close at hand. The waves continue their gentle lullaby, and as he lays down, the lighthouse stands steadfast, a guardian over dreams and adventures, ready to guide him through the night. The hours pass slowly as Otto immerses himself in his thoughts, each stroke of the pen bringing to life the flickering light that had captured his imagination. The gentle sound of waves outside offers a rhythmic backdrop, guiding his thoughts into deeper waters. He feels himself drawn into a world where shadows and light tell stories of their own, interwoven along the coastal landscape he has come to love. With each word, Otto captures the essence of mystery. He paints images of fishermen lost at sea, their lanterns weaving tales of hope against the backdrop of uncertainty. He recalls the brave mariners who sailed when storms threatened, their hearts steady as their vessels danced upon tumultuous waves. There is poetry in these tales, in the lives carved by the sea, and he writes with fervor, each sentence building upon the last. As he writes, a sudden thought strikes him, a desire to seek out the truth behind the flickering light he had spotted. Otto pauses, the pen hovering above the page, and gazes out the window again. The ocean stretches endlessly, its surface shimmering under the moon's embrace, and he remembers the stories of sailors who were guided home by beacons just like the lighthouse he inhabits. What if this light held secrets of its own, stories yet untold that yearn for a voice? He sets down his pen and rises from the table, feeling the cool wood beneath his fingertips. The lighthouse has always been a sanctuary, and tonight it feels even more like a haven of possibilities. With a soft exhale, he moves toward the door, feeling the weight of his decision settling in his chest. He'll rise early, he decides, and venture to the shore, to the very spot where the light had danced across the waves. Otto takes a moment to step outside once more, drawn back to the shoreline. The moon remains high, illuminating the path with a silver glow, and the air is alive with the scent of the ocean mingling with damp earth. He feels invigorated by the cool night breeze that ruffles his hair, a feeling of adventure bubbling just beneath the surface of his calm demeanor. The beach spreads out before him, the sand smooth and cool beneath his bare feet. The ocean's voice is inviting, a comforting whisper that calls him closer. He walks along the shore, feeling the soft grains adhere to his soles as the waves lap gently at the edges of the land. With each step, he imagines the stories that linger here, each tide carrying with it echoes of the past. As he wonders, he spots the distinct outline of driftwood, weathered and shaped by time and tide. It catches his eye, and he approaches it, running his fingers along its rough bark. There's a history embedded in this wood, each knothole, each curve a testament to storms weathered and calm seas endured. Otto takes a moment to reflect, pondering what this piece of driftwood might have witnessed in its journey across the ocean. What stories of adventure and survival does it hold? He continues along the beach, allowing his mind to drift to far-off places, the very essence of wonderlust knitting itself into the fabric of his thoughts. The flickering light returns to him, now tinged with the promise of exploration and discovery. As he gazes across the water, the horizon begins to soften with the approach of dawn. The gentle glow heralds the promise of a new day. Returning to the lighthouse, Otto finds himself eager for the morning light. He enters the cabin, the familiar scent of oil and wood enveloping him as he closes the door behind him. He sits at his desk once more, heart racing with anticipation for the tales he aims to uncover. The flickering light a puzzle waiting to be solved, and he is determined to piece together its story. Sleep finds him in bits and pieces until the sun breaks fully over the edge of the ocean, casting bright rays through the window, bathing the room in warmth. Otto awakens, feeling the sun caress his cheeks. He stretches, ready to embrace the day, ready to uncover the mysteries that await him. The dream from the night before lingers like a gentle reminder, urging him to rise and venture forth. He prepares himself for the journey ahead, donning a sturdy coat and lacing up his boots. As he steps outside, the world around him feels alive with possibility. The air is fresh, a reminder of the rain that had saturated the earth just days before, and the vibrant colors of sea grass and wildflowers spring to life, painting the landscape in hues of green and gold. Otto makes his way toward the coast, his heart buoyed by an invigorating sense of purpose. The lighthouse, now a familiar silhouette behind him, stands sentinel over the land. With each step, he draws closer to the spot where he first noticed the light, and as he walks, he takes in the beauty surrounding him, the way the sunlight dances upon the water, the gentle lull of the waves, and the distant call of seabirds drifting overhead. Finally, he reaches the edge of the shore, where the sand meets the surf, and he gazes out across the glistening expanse. The ocean stretches beyond, folding in upon itself with a graceful rhythm. Where the waves break, he sees the tender flicker again this time, clearer, like a promise of the mysteries yet to be unraveled. He watches closely, the flickering light steadily repeating its pattern. Otto's heart races with excitement as he realizes it is not merely a trick of the night, but something tangible, a lantern bobbing upon the waves, possibly belonging to a vessel lost or guided by destiny. The thrill of the chase ignites within him. Determined, he decides to follow the shoreline, moving along the water's edge and keeping his eyes trained on the source of the light. Each step takes him deeper into the brine-kissed air, the salty breeze catching in his coat. Otto weaves between rocks and pools of water, his attention fully committed to the mystery unfolding before him. Not far along, he encounters a series of tide pools, glistening with life. Tiny crabs scuttle across the wet sand, while sea anemones sway gently in the water, their colors bright against the dull brown rocks. Otto marvels at this display of nature, but his fascination remains tethered to the light. Moving on, he feels the shoreline shift underfoot, the sand now yielding to jagged cliffs that rise like guardians above the sea. After a time, the light appears to flicker more insistently, as though beckoning him closer. Otto quickens his pace, excitement coursing through him. He scrambles over a small outcropping, carefully making his way to a less cultivated area where the landscape opens before him with wild grasses swaying in the gentle morning breeze. He stands momentarily, surveying the scene ahead there. Just beyond the rocks, he sees it more clearly, a small fishing skiff, its lantern swinging gently against the soft rhythm of the ocean. A figure stands in the boat, silhouetted against the brightness of the horizon. casting a line into the glimmering water. Otto feels a rush of gratitude. The light before him is a living tale in itself, and he cannot help but wonder about the fisherman's story. Taking a deep breath, he calls out, his voice mingling with the sound of the surf. "Hello there." The fisherman turns, his face momentarily obscured by the brightness of the rising sun. Otto waves, feeling a warm swell of connection to the solitary figure. "I saw your light from the shore." The fisherman nods, a grin spreading across his weathered face. I've been out here since before first light, hoping for a catch." His voice carries a rich timbre, underscored by the cadence of experience. "I was drawn to it," Otto admits, stepping closer now that the path before him is clear. "It reminded me of stories I've read of sailors and their lanterns." "Stories are all we have out here," the fisherman replies, casting his line again. "Every flicker, every wave, holds a tale waiting to be shared." Otto feels a spark of inspiration at the fisherman's words, as though each moment holds the potential for a new story, just waiting to be told. They spend a while exchanging pleasantries, the warm sun rising higher, casting a golden hue over the ocean. The fisherman shares snippets of his life, of nights spent battling storms and the joy of a bountiful catch. As they talk, Otto realizes that this chance meeting will become a thread woven into the larger narrative he seeks to capture. Each word shared adds depth to his understanding of this place, and he feels the flickering light becoming a symbol not just of mystery, but of the connections formed across fishing lines and drifting tales. Eventually, the fisherman begins to reel in his line, the gentle tugging of the water a chorus to their exchange. "I'll be here for a while yet if you want to join me," he invites, eyeing Otto with a friendly glint. Otto nods eagerly, feeling a feeling of camaraderie in the shared moment by the sea. He settles down on a ledge nearby, drawing out his journal and a pen. As the fisherman resumes his work, Otto begins to jot down notes, not just about the lie, but about the man he's met and the world that surrounds them. The waves lap rhythmically against the shore, and the sun climbs higher, warming the air, wrapping them in the bright glow of possibility. The morning unfurls before them, stories intertwining like the gentle flow of the tide, each moment a drop in a vast ocean of experience. In this tranquil space, amid the scent of salt and the call of seabirds, Otto feels a profound sense of belonging, a recognition that this journey is only just beginning. The flickering light that had once drawn him to the shore now stands as a reminder of the beauty found in connection, adventure, and the narratives that await discovery along the coast. The morning gave way to a vibrant afternoon, the sun now high in the sky, casting a warm glow over everything in sight. Otto closed his journal, satisfied with the few pages he had filled, each line brimming with the essence of the fisherman's tales and his own reflections. The coastal breeze stirred the curtains of the lighthouse, carrying the scent of salt and the distant sound of gulls into his sanctuary. He stood up, stretching his limbs, welcoming the energy that the day had to offer. Sapping outside, Otto squinted against the brightness, the glittering ocean before him reflecting the sun like 1,000 small diamonds. The path to the shore beckoned him once more, and he felt drawn to explore further. He set off, his steps light against the damp grass and scattered pebbles. The air was alive, filled with the hum of nature, and he felt attuned to every rustle of leaves and call of wildlife. Otto wandered along the coastline, pausing every so often to inspect the flotsam and jetsam that the tide had deposited. He found a piece of driftwood, smooth and worn, and picked it up, running his fingers over its surface. It was as though it bore its own stories, each contour etched by time in the relentless ocean. He imagined the journeys it must have taken, and how many shores it had seen. With newfound inspiration, he tucked the driftwood safely into his satchel. The afternoon sun began to dip lower in the sky, painting the horizon in hues of orange and pink. Otto decided to explore a nearby cove he had seen from a distance. As he carefully navigated the rocky path, the sound of waves crashing against the cliffs enveloped him, each crash like the heartbeat of the world around him. The cove revealed itself in a gentle curve, a secluded pocket of land where the tide ebbed and flowed with a soothing rhythm. Sitting on a warm rock, Otto watched the water dance against the shore. He felt a peaceful solitude, a connection to the land that was both grounding and uplifting. The fisherman's stories echoed in his mind, merging with his own thoughts about life along the coast. Each moment here was a thread woven into the fabric of existence, a reminder of the simplicity and beauty that surrounded him. As dusk began to creep in, the sky transformed into a canvas of deeper blues and purples. Otto made his way back to the lighthouse, the path now illuminated by the soft glow of lanterns around him, each flicker a reminder of the fisherman's light. He returned to his desk, the journal awaiting his return, ready to capture the magic of the day. With the waning light illuminating his workspace, he picked up his pen again, letting the day spill onto the pages. He wrote about the cove, the driftwood, and the calming embrace of the ocean. He captured the colors of the sunset, the whispers of the waves, and the thoughts that swirled in his mind, thoughts of adventure, connection, and the stories that lingered just out of reach, waiting for him to discover them. Night descended gently, the world outside cloaked in a deep blue hue. Otto closed his journal, content with the day's reflections, and stepped onto the balcony of the lighthouse. The stars began to emerge, twinkling like old friends in the vast, dark sky. He took a moment to breathe in the night air, crisp and cool, filled with the sound of distant waves and the occasional call of nocturnal creatures. The flickering lanterns along the coast mirrored the stars above, each one a guide in the darkness. Otto felt a feeling of calm wash over him. This was his place, a haven where stories were born and connections formed. Here, amid the light and the sea, he found a quiet comfort in the unknown, a gentle thrill that reminded him of the adventures yet to come. As midnight approached, the ocean's lullaby became softer, urging him to relax. Otto retreated back inside, ready for rest after a fulfilling day. He prepared for sleep, the warmth of his surroundings cocooning him. Laying down, he closed his eyes, allowing the day's experiences to settle within him like the soft waves caressing the shore. The world outside continued its rhythm, a steady heartbeat that lulled him deeper into slumber, where dreams awaited, filled with the stories of the sea and the flickering lights that guided him home. And as he drifted off, Otto felt secure, knowing that tomorrow would bring new adventures and tales waiting to unfold.